arthritis of the knee, low back, neck, shoulders, hips, or other joint pain, stop and listen. These are must-attend stem cell therapy seminars, free and no obligation to you. Find solutions to your pain and information that will change the way you live. With seminars in Denver, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, and other places, including Fort Collins, there's sure to be one near you. You need to attend one of the seminars on regenerative medicine. It could be a life-changing experience. 888-628-1890 to register for one of our upcoming seminars. And for information, visit stemcelltherapyforpain.com. I'm Tom Martino. I had stem cell therapy.
Tom, I have no PC right now, so I'm just going to field on Mark's PC. I'm going to come in here and add the lines until it fixes me. I've got no internet. So frustrating.
You want to go get my laptop?
Do you need it? I have a laptop. I can put everything on IM. It's not bad. It's my next gen. I have no PC. I have no internet connection on my computer in there.
So, okay, but
I'm just a little panicked. Sorry.
let me ask you something. You mean only for the call screener?
Yes.
But you can browse on the internet?
Yeah. Oh no, I can browse on my laptop. Yeah, and I've got no internet connection. It says the Ethernet cable's unplugged, and Shannon says that's all the way downstairs.
Are they plugging it in?
And right now you
Just
can Recruiter free.
Okay, I can't even do anything on Mark, so I'll put everything in IM.
I don't care, just fine.
Okay.
Or, you know, you can also do a Google Doc. Share insurance.
Which would you prefer?
Let's do a Google Doc, and we'll both be in it, and you'll be edited. You know how to do that?
Yeah, you'll share it with you, and then you'll open it up.
And if it doesn't work, we'll just go to IM. But go ahead, it won't be a big deal.
Sounds better than the alternative, which is keeping her home.
Rolly coming in today, Tom?
I don't know.
Visit us on
Suzanne thought he was, maybe.
What was that?
Suzanne said he might be here.
Oh, okay.
Insurance.
Good.
Optional 24-hour roadside assistance coverage.
How are you?
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
Is he staying busy?
Yeah, just tracking production.
Solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints. It's a show that's a lot of fun. We do some entertainment along the way. Coming up in this show, you're going to hear a very important follow-up, and it is amazing to me. And this is an example of where the media ignores things it does not understand. The media goes for low-hanging fruit. The media goes for sensationalism and crap. They don't go for what really affects people. Do you ever hear news, really, and say, wow, that really affects me, and I really need to know this? I mean, sure, there are some political things we need to know about, but most is pontification and bull crap. But the stuff you really need to know, you seldom hear about. We're going to tell you about one such case that we spearheaded. In fact, I dare say if it wasn't for us, you would have never heard about it. We were the only ones who not only covered it, but solved many of the problems. But again, ignored by media. A major story, perhaps the biggest ripoff in Denver history, ignored by the media. Think about that. Think about that. But if, let's say, some politician got a DUI, or if I stubbed my toe and said a bad word, it would be front page news. It would be on all the newscasts. It is amazing what a disservice media is. That is why I love the internet and I love social media, because everyone has a voice. In fact, I love the fact that you can have a YouTube post with more viewers than your local news. They are just in with the crowd. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. Today is car day. We're going to talk about cars, not exclusively, but basically we're going to talk about cars if you call because we put this day aside to talk about the second biggest investment we'll make. For some, it's the first big investment. So we'll go to the phones, 303-713-TALK, with our experts, Kevin Kalkin from Sheridan Auto Tech, Mark Machowski from Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. Rudy, what's going on with you, Rudy? Welcome.
Hi, Tom.
What's happening?
What's happening? I have a property, 2.9 acres, next to the school, and the school built a road on it, and I want to build a little subdivision in there.
Well, Rudy, hold on a sec. The school built a road on your property. Obviously, there was an easement.
No, there is no easement.
Okay.
They just built it on, and there is my survey pin right middle of the driveway.
Rudy, so let me really get this straight now without exaggeration. You have 2.9 acres, and the school district, without permission, without buying, without access, without easement, took your property and made a road.
Yes, sir.
No, don't believe it.
No, that's what is it.
I don't believe it.
I asked him, I asked the lady if they're going to do it. They said, yeah, I got it right here in front of me. And, they're saying, we would like to meet with you about your land.
But they already, hold on, they already put the road in?
Yeah, road is on it.
It's a paved road?
Yes, sir.
And they never got permission?
No.
Well, how did they do that?
They just done it. And they said we could...
I'm sorry when I say it. I'm sorry when I say I don't believe you. It's not that I don't believe you like I think you're a liar. I mean I don't believe you and I think you're misunderstanding something. There must have been an easement. How can a school district simply take land?
Well, that's in the Lake County. And,
what county?
Lake County.
Where is that?
In Leadville, Colorado.
Okay. Lake County. And what excuse do they have for taking land?
Well, they said they could use eminent domain.
Well, then hold on. Then wait. Then, Rudy. Then they did have an easement. They took it by eminent domain.
No, they didn't. They just said they will do it, but then they said they don't have any money to pay for it.
They did not go through the process of eminent domain?
No, sir.
And they just took your land?
That's what they did.
We have to call someone from the school district.
That doesn't make any sense, Tom.
Now listen, I guess that could happen if you have a bunch of hicks who think they can do anything they want. But Rudy, this sounds outrageous to me. Was this vacant land?
Well, it's a vacant land, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, and it's right adjacent to the school?
Yes, sir.
And they said if they wanted to, they could do eminent domain and they could take your land, but they did not do that.
Yes, sir.
Well, you can block it. You can block the road. You can block the road.
Well, I don't want to go to some...
It's your road. It's your land.
Well, that's what I'm assuming, but...
Have they been using this access over a number of years?
Oh, it's decades.
Well, then, okay, hold on. Rudy, you got a real big... So, for decades, they've been using this.
Yeah.
Then it's their property. It's too late.
I always asking
no,
for
it doesn't matter, Rudy. You did. That's what you call open, hostile, public use of someone else's land becomes their property by right, whether you like it or not. I thought this just happened. Rudy, this is their property. What is that? They take it over by whatever it is. I always forget the term, but it's not eminent domain. It's another term that they take over, and I'll look it up. But it's open, it's notorious open use of land, and it becomes theirs. And it happens all the time. So how many years have they been using this road?
Well, there's been about 10 years, but recently
you said, hold on, you said decades. Now you just said 10.
No. I own the land for 30 years.
Okay, I'm asking a very simple question, okay? How long has the school been using a road or your property for any use whatsoever? How long have they been using it?
I believe about 10 years.
Okay. It's probably their land. When did they pave it?
They paved it about 7 years.
Okay. And this is something that they've been using for access?
Yes, they're busing children to the school and out.
But why do they have to use that area? Is there no other place to go?
They would have to cut it up a little bit to their side and
Okay.
make it the driveway.
Okay, so here's the problem. They probably are going to get away with it, Rudy. It's probably, you know, you may want to hire an attorney. We can't handle it. Not if you've let them do it for 10 years. I can't, we can't get involved and say that you knew nothing about it. It's been 10 years, Rudy. I'm sorry. What you need to do is have an attorney draw this up as a lawsuit, because they're going to try to say it's their property by use.
Well, this is ongoing battle for decades, and I always ask for it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you ask for. Do you hear what I'm saying? You let them do it. You could have put a gate up. You could have put a rope up. You could have put up a blockade saying private property. Open hostile use of land. That's what it is. That's what you did. You took it. I mean, they took it from you. Adverse possession. That's the word I wanted. That's what they did. Adverse possession. Do you know what adverse means?
No.
You're making the case for them. You said they did not have your permission, right?
Yeah.
Guess what? Had you given them permission, you would have been able to take it away. You see, one time in Parker, I had Wendy's do their drive-through. And they did they thought they were being smart, and they put a little paved drive-through through a piece of my commercial land. And they thought, you know what, nobody's going to notice, who's going to care, we're going to use it. And you know what I did? I wrote a letter to them giving them permission.
Wow.
They didn't even ask for permission, and it was after they put it in. And the corporate attorney calls and says, why did you do this? We don't want your permission. I said, I know you don't, but you're going to get it. You have my permission. And you know what? It was not hostile use. It was not notorious, and I was able to withdraw that, or they had to buy it from me. And that is what you do, is that you give permission or you stop them, but you didn't do either of them. Yeah. So, Rudy, you got a problem. I'm sorry, you didn't want to call to have a problem. You wanted it solved. But I can't solve when people give away their rights. Wow. And you gave away your rights. You gave them away. You let them use your land. Well, you didn't let them. You didn't do anything about it. In fact, had you given them permission in writing, you would have been better off. Now, you need to get an attorney if you want to keep the land.
You got any attorney?
Well, I don't know about Lake County, sir. I don't know. I mean, we could try, but it's tough, Rudy. How important is this land to you? How much land? It's only 2.9 acres. How much land does this road take up?
Well, it's only like 10 feet and maybe 100 feet long. That's it.
What do you want to do with the land?
Well, I want to use a common driveway. You know, they could use it for busing children, but they told me no, they could not do that. You have to be my old driveway. I have to build my own driveway.
They won't let you use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, your property, and they won't let you use it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Rudy, I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I don't know who to refer you to, but I hope, you know, they have a school district worth of money. Do you have money to fight them?
Well, I talked to a lawyer, and he said probably $25,000.
And he's probably right. Yep. That's what it will cost to fight. If you have to go to court, because it's adverse possession. It's a complicated lawsuit. But, you know, you have to do it or you lose your rights.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rudy, it sucks. I'm not happy about this. It sucks. People, I want to tell you, this is what we learned today. That if someone uses your land, they can claim it to be their own. So what you have to do is either stop them, literally stop them, or give them permission. It's really, really, really important. 303-713-TALK. I don't know who to refer him to, but it sounds like he talked to someone. 303-713-8255. Let's talk about Century RV. Today is car day, so let's talk about RVs, because they're motor vehicles, and I'll tell you what, you will love Century RV for new and used RVs. Just north of the city of Denver, on I-25 and the 119 highway, the turnoff to Longmont, they have travel trailers, fifth wheels, Class A's, Class B's, Class C motorhomes, and then they have really big iron too, if you want that. The great part about it, they also have service department for RVs, and they are open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. That's 303-453-1111, 453-1111.
There's a couple of highway crashes to watch out for. You drive across town, wreck on the westbound side of I-70 approaching Colorado. That's got traffic backed up to Central Park. Still that crash on the south end on southbound I-25 approaching Lincoln Avenue. The right lane remains blocked. Still back up to about Dry Creek. Crash on the highway on Third Avenue.
I've never heard of that. Give them permission. That's interesting.
I like that one.
Yeah. Instead of fighting it, I mean, you're not using it anyway, so who cares? Yeah.
That's right, but
Yeah.
you reserve the right to use it. And boy, was that attorney for it. He said,
"You're
giving us permission. We don't want permission." So we were getting it.
That's funny.
Well, because he knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
That's what
If you give him permission, you can take it away.
He probably told him, let's do it. And these guys don't complain. We don't.
So then in a year you could say, hey, by the way, now I'm going to rent it to you.
I say, you no longer have my permission. You either have to rent or buy it. They hate that because they can't say they openly and hostily took it over.
Sure. Right.
First of all, adverse possession is bullshit.
Yeah,
Why they allow it is so stupid. I don't even know why they allow adverse possession. It's such a stupid law. It's almost
Well,
like
so vague as it is anyway.
it goes back to the old days when there was
Probably mining claims or
Yes,
something, you know, settlements and stuff. They abandoned settlements and somebody else took them.
Whether it's kitchens, baths, counters, or floors, or even replacement windows and doors, they have our word. We'll treat them right at Dunlap. You betcha, Todd. And with the weather like it is and today's incentives, that's right, incentives. Now's the time to call. They save a full 12% on all.
My son just got back from Belgium. He's gone for 2 months.
Wow.
He's such a free spirit. Yeah, he really is.
TRHI.com. 303-722-2295.
Consumers Real Estate Show. That's right, a real estate show for consumers. All inside.
For the school to get that, Tom, do they have to start paying taxes on it then?
Right here on Talk Radio.
They don't pay taxes anyway.
The Consumers Real
Right,
Estate
but I mean,
Show
this guy's still paying taxes. Is that
Property taxes?
Right.
Well, they never. Yeah, I don't know.
help
with highly respected
They don't have
skilled
to
trial
subdivide
attorney
it.
Joe.
They can
He's offering a
they
free
can
initial
shoot.
consultation.
It depends on what they want to do. If they want to put up a fence or something, no, they have it. It's their property. Now, if you did this with an entire lot, let's say, a residential lot somewhere,
options today.
you would then go for a deed, but you'd get it. Do you remember that judge in Boulder did that to his neighbor? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. And that's what he do? Dan Capels and them guys were on it.
And that guy didn't have enough money to pay to fight him. And they literally took his.
But I thought they got it back.
No.
So when you gave them permission, did you eventually take it back?
I sold it. Sold the patch.
That's one of the ways to give written permission to someone to use your land and get their written acknowledgement. Post no trespassing signs.
Next gen is back up.
You need to call AmeriFactors. Get cash right now for your invoices instead of getting turned down by the banks or taking out a high-interest business loan. There's nothing to pay
But
back.
they were just, it was such a, no one has ever used that strategy, I could tell, because they were baffled, they were floored. They thought I was going to fight them to get off my land. That's what they would want, because then it would be a long battle. I mean, the longer they use it.
Sure.
So they were gambling that for that little piece of land, that little swap they took. You know, who would go, see, if they had to buy it, they figure it'll be thousands of dollars, so we may as well just fight it in court. Because what owner is going to, over 10 feet of land, what owner is going to go and fight for hundreds of thousands of dollars to, you know, and Wendy's could outfight you. So, instead of fighting, I just gave them permission
to sell a house. Hi, this is
the last thing they expected.
If you sell a $400,000 house and the agent charges you 6%, that'll cost $24,000.
I've had two people call in. One is holding saying that adverse possession. One said it was 25 years. The other said it was 18. So.
First of all, the adverse possession is different in each jurisdiction.
Okay.
There is no set period of time.
Okay.
4% co-op applied.
Haven't filed your taxes in years? Get your peace of mind back. Go to advancedtaxsolutions.com.
It's Free Movie Friday thanks to Atom Tickets. Go to khow.com right now to win and download the Atom Tickets app. Browse movie titles, buy tickets, pre-order concessions, and skip lines. From Atom Tickets and Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. Let's see what is on your mind. And I know that people are calling about adverse possession, and it sounds like an unfair law, and I know people are going to say, well, they can't own it after 10 years. It has to be 18 years because that's the law. And by the way, there is no set period of time in this country. It depends on the jurisdiction. In Colorado, the possession is 18 years. It's open possession for 18 years or after 7 years of paying property taxes on it. So if they're paying property taxes on it, it could be 7 years. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. With a school district, they could easily not bill for that portion of the land because they're the ones that's setting the mill levy, and they could manipulate it so they're paying the taxes or crediting the taxes on that land and take it after 7 years. It's 7 years if you're paying the taxes. It is 18 years without paying taxes, but here's something else. You remember the man said decades and decades, and then he said it was 10 years because I told him adverse possession. So I was betting that it's more than 10 years. Now, even if it is 18 years and they've only been there 10 years, he still needs an attorney. So the advice is solid. He needs to have an attorney, and he needs to fight it now. That's what he needs to do because it's adverse possession. It's going to be an adverse possession lawsuit no matter what. Brett, what was your comment, sir?
Exactly the 18 years. But if it were me, I'd take a bobcat out there and rip out the road that's on my property and let them come after me.
You could. You could, Brett.
I would absolutely do that.
You could. I have a fear. You know what I have a fear, Brett? I have a fear it was probably more than 10 years. It probably was 20 or 30 years, and he's just not saying it now. Because
probably true, but I would still do that. Ain't nobody taking my land from me. So.
But isn't that terrible? The law is terrible.
Nah, it's not terrible. It makes sense if you imagine someone abandoned land and someone takes care of it for 18 years.
I guess. Okay, Brett, thank you for your comment. Yes, it was 18 years. Thank you, Brett. Now, according to Wikipedia, I wondered, why do these laws exist? Adverse possession exists basically in circumstances where they say it arises to determine the type of title required. Let's see. They did it because of just what that guy said, abandonment, or property where there was a dispute, so someone would just start using it. It said adverse possessor is usually required to prove non-permissive use, which is actual, open, and notorious. It can't be hidden. You can't go to some guy that owns thousands of acres and put a little cabin on it, way in the back 10, the back 40. See, now, did you hear this? This is the part of the law I read. Required to prove non-permissive use, which is actual, open, notorious, exclusive, adverse, and continuous for a statutory period, depending on the jurisdiction. If a claim to title by adverse possession is successful, title is acquired without any compensation. So when Wendy's got that letter years and years ago giving permission, they were pissed. I mean, they never bargained on that. They thought what was going to happen is no landowner's going to fight in court for 10 feet of land. They're not going to go to court. That's going to cost him $20,000, $25,000 to get to court. So we're betting he's not going to come after us. Or, best case, if he does come after us, we offer him the money and say, look, instead of going to court, how about you take a couple grand? It'll save you $25,000 in court. What they did not bargain for was me giving them permission. If a claim is made for adverse possession, people, take it seriously, okay? But why does it exist? That's what I was looking up. Oh, here's the history. It goes back to Roman laws. It allowed people to possess something if they simply used it because no one else showed up to use it. So it was abandonment at first. And it's all over the world, this law of adverse possession. Goodness gracious. It's just weird. Adverse possession is one of the most contentious laws in the world and have caused wars. Think about it. 303-713-8255. John, let's talk about your Corvette. What's going on?
Well, thank you for taking my call
yes,
this
sir.
morning.
It's car day. Let's talk.
Yep. I recently used a business that I wanted to put out on the air for other Corvette owners along the Front Range to think about not using.
Oh, you don't. Oh, this is a reverse review. By the way, that 59 is beautiful. What color was yours? Was it the red and white or the blue and white?
It's white with
the silver
frost blue interior, no painted cove.
But the white one was the white one with the silver accent on the indentation.
Well, the cove is what they call
yeah.
it. But that was an option to have painted. They didn't come all painted.
You were white on white.
Yes.
Ooh, wow.
And it's got 54,000 original miles on it.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. My uncle bought it brand new for his 35th birthday.
Hey, John, right now, without even seeing it, I'll give you $5,000.
Yeah, I don't have any change.
You get a ride in it for $5,000.
I'll give you $5,000 right now. Hey, listen, John, I hope this guy didn't ruin it.
No, he didn't. I actually took it in March. Gave him a list of things I wanted or needed to have done.
Oh, my God.
One being a radiator. It was the original, so it was kind of spewing. You know, I'd had it flushed several times.
Now, is this restored or original condition?
Original. All numbers matching.
God. Hey, I'm serious when I ask you this now. What are you doing with it? What are you going to do with it?
I'm keeping it.
And what did you have done with the radiator?
Well, I wanted him to replace it.
No. If that's a numbers matching car, you want that radiator fixed. They can core out that radiator, take that radiator apart, because there's numbers on that radiator. You don't want to put a replacement radiator in a car like that. Actually, talking about radiators and antifreeze, I got a car tip of the day, so we could talk about that later. But yeah, you want that original radiator back. You got to get that radiator back.
Now, can I ask you something, though?
No, I still in the car.
What did the guy do?
Well, that's the thing. He didn't do anything.
Now, did he charge you up front?
Well, no.
Good.
No, he didn't.
Did you get it back? Did you get the car back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Good. Then we can talk about him. I just don't want any revenge here. So, what's the name of the place?
Corvette City.
Corvette. Where is it?
39th and Holly.
Corvette City. I've never heard of them. And 30th and Holly.
They don't advertise and...
So listen, man. Listen, John, how old are you?
70.
Oh, so you're not that old. I wanted to be your son or something, and you got to get that in the will or for me or something. Listen, John, except I'll be right behind you. It won't matter. So this thing truly must turn heads.
It does.
Is it shine? Is it in good condition?
I could text you a couple of pictures.
Let's do it. We'll put it up online. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook every day. I want to do that. I also want to
I'm on my cell now, but I'll text it for you.
A few questions for you, though. Truly, that's original miles. So that engine has never been gone through?
Nope.
What is that car? What is that car worth with that many miles right now?
I'm guessing 85.
Oh, more.
Probably more.
I was thinking more.
Like 100 a quarter.
Exactly. Yeah. At least 125,000.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Could be. Yep.
So, do you show it?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time.
That is great.
And I've won trophies and everything, but the problem is that I've taken it to this business before, and he's done good work.
So why do you think he went south? Hold on a second. Let me give you some more time. We'll do this in a second here. Why do people go south after a while? That's what I want to know. I just don't know why. And what's that?
They just don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
By the way, Genesis Total Exteriors for your home improvement needs. This is a time, I swear to goodness, every day we get calls. People who paid money up front and got nothing in return, or they got shoddy work, or the guy took off. When it comes to home improvements, referralist.com. And then you'll also see Genesis, my friend Mark, and they do interior and exterior. 303-679-8509.
Well, that's kind of scary, though. A guy having a car like that, he's talking about having that radiator replaced.
Oh no, he's
if
that one thing. Oh, don't.
Probably. I don't know if you can find a replacement for
for repairs. He gives you personalized service.
Well, you might get real lucky and find an NOS part, but you can take that radiator. I've done it. I don't care to do it. You just get your torch and you heat the top tank.
You just split that.
Yep, you just take the tank right off of it and then you rot it out. It's just a messy job, but there are tags on that radiator that go to that car.
Well, there's still radiator shops you can take them to. And have
Not that much no more.
Huh?
Not that much anymore, though.
Yeah.
Even back in '59, they had electric clock in there, 1 o'clock in there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Blazing fast and reliable internet.
What's amazing, they had fuel injection back then.
Slow internet.
Yes, they're neat.
It's a 283 fuel injected.
Really?
Yeah.
Up to 250 megabits per second. Plus, did you know that in addition to fast internet,
Yeah, and the big thing with those engines, that was a small journal, 283, and under high RPMs, the way that the harmonic balancer pressed onto the crankshaft, it wasn't bolted on, and once that thing got a little loose, busted.
all this is only a phone call.
Back then, even that was $3,900 car base. That was a lot of money back in '59.
Limited to one voice line and private QTV for new customers. 2-year contract required. Requires contract.
So Tom, I was going to say something with this adverse possession of property. Let's say someone was parking their car on your property. You weren't aware that that was your property, and they've been parking the car on your property for, let's say, over 8 years. You finally discover that's part of your property. You tell them to move the car. They can say no.
Hold on. Would you delete that doc so it's not cluttering up our drive? So you're right.
Well, 8 years isn't enough time for adverse.
Okay, 8 years. So they can just say no. It's mine now.
No. Just storing there is not going to make that much difference. The story.
Your customers to pay on their net 30s, 60s, or 90s. Can't get a business
If
loan
that's
because
what
you
you're
have
worried
no
about.
equity, bad credit, or no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors.
That car had a 24-gallon.
You got to be using the land.
That's huge.
Or taking out a high-interest business loan. There's nothing to that. We simply
Oh, Corvette City is? Gary Steffens is the owner of Corvette City. He listens. He's the sponsor. Yeah, he's the sponsor of Rick's Corvette Explorer Society. I know. So I called Rick when I heard that. I go, Rick,
Yeah.
we're talking about. I lost my head this morning because the call screen didn't work when I started. That just puts me in panic
Everything
mode.
works pretty good now, right?
I don't have to throw up. That's good.
So yeah, listen back from Belgium and
Just
I saw you on Facebook. Your kids are so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but I didn't do what he was doing.
But the work you got done didn't get done. Didn't rip them off or anything. It's just car sat there and just didn't get fixed.
I see. I was talking to a gal on the phone, and then I was like, wait, Corvette City. I know that name. So, Gary Steffens owns Corvette City. And my husband's the Corvette Restorer Society. And that he is responsible. So when I heard your name, I was like, so I called my husband. I'm like, you need to listen.
Okay. And what did he do? I'm still not aware of what he did with
He dropped it off to have some things done, and over 3-4 months he just didn't do anything. Didn't charge him, didn't do anything wrong.
Didn't do anything. Just sat
Didn't do anything.
Company Paradigm Interiors. So you don't have to go where you're just a number. You can go where you're a friend. You'll love the way Don. Did we ever put Quick Wrench and Sergol, Charlie Sergol or Brian Sergol on the sleeve?
My husband's the president of
Whatsoever. talk to these guys. Mark did a lot of work on that. I'm just coming across my file on it. 630-9204.
With all the numbers and everything
And
matching.
please look for Paradigm Interiors on my referral list at referralist.com or at ParadigmInteriorsLLC.com.
Worry less
Pays
with
$4
Liberty
grand for a
Mutual
car?
Insurance.
That's a lot of money.
I'd be a nervous wreck if my daughter just got her license. You know, Liberty Mutual actually helped me relax.
Yeah, but you know, the key thing too
Yeah,
is how that
roadside
car is
assistance,
stored.
Liberty Mutual is there to make sure
Oh,
she
yeah.
is.
Well, he's showing it.
Don't know what I do without it.
Sounds better than the alternative.
Which
They
is...
even have windshield washers
until
and
she's
stuff.
30.
Which
Shows
are
online to get
vacuum operated.
worry behind when Liberty stands with
The
you.
wipers, you
Liberty
say.
Mutual
The wipers. I actually have washers.
And the washers too. And the washers
Liberty
too.
Mutual Insurance.
Vacuum
This
operated.
is the only place
That's
where
the
Sean
car?
Hannity and
No,
Glenn
I'm just
Beck,
looking on a-
Denver's talk
I
station,
don't know if I like that
630
car.
KHOW.
Like too much of the same.
Turquoise.
Yeah.
I love those colors.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, but I love them.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe, the longest running show in America, the longest continuous running radio show with the same host. Yes, go on, challenge it, everyone does. I also recovered more money than most law firms for people, and we do it all free for you. This 59 Corvette is just astounding to me. Original, 59,000 original miles, white on white, beautiful cars. Those 59s, I love the double headlights. I love the whole thing, the Cove, the way it looks. I mean, they're so beautiful. I love the newer ones, the brand new ones, and I love the old ones. I don't like some of the in-between ones. This was this happens to be one of the best years. So, John, what engine does that? Is that a 427 or 396?
No. 283.
283.
283.
That's a small.
230 horse.
Oh, that's not that. So that's not that like up and go, is it?
No, it's not a dragster. No.
No. So listen, John. This guy, by the way, is well known, Corvette City, in the Corvette world, I hear, and he sponsors events, and he's pretty good. Now, the good part is you're not saying he did bad work. You're saying he just dropped the ball.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He does good work. What he does do is very good. And,
well, that's
and
better than okay. He's a perfect. That's better than he's cheating people. So you're just unhappy that the guy is basically dropping the ball.
Right.
He might be a victim of his own success.
Yeah, I took it to him in March, gave him a list of things: fix the heater, fix the radiator, install a soft top. Couple other little things, and so I went to pick it up yesterday, and nothing was done except for the soft top. I wanted electronic ignition, and so.
Yeah.
John, why do you want to put electronic ignition in a car that's so original?
Well, it's just kind of hard to start in the garage, and I got to pump it. And I don't know. It's just you don't have. There's not many places anymore where you can take 59 to get repaired.
Anyway, so you had your say. The guy did do work. It's too bad. I mean, we ought to give him a call, though. You know what? Let's just give him a call. This is a popular show, car show. So, Suzanne, let's give Corvette City a call. Just say, look, this guy was a longtime client. He's a little unhappy, and let's see if we can get a comment.
Got it, Tom?
Yeah, let's just do that. And by the way, Mark is delayed, but we have a very important case to talk about when he gets here. And he's delayed because his dog is at the vet. Is that right, Suzanne? I'm telling you what, Mark and Suzanne, they treat their dogs like I do, by the way. I'm a dog crazed. My dogs were so important to me. They're like members of the family. I said if there was a reincarnation, I want to be their dog. That's right. So, did you get the latest word? How's the dog?
She's just got a really bad ear infection. They don't know if her hearing will recover.
How old is she?
She's like 13 now.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is it,
I hate
Suzanne?
when they get
She's
old.
a Doberman.
I hate
it's Mark's best bud.
You know, we were thinking about getting a Doberman.
God, I hate when they get old. I hate when all the dogs get old. It's too bad. But all dogs go to heaven. Remember that. That's the important part. Let's talk about... let's get that comment from Corvette City. And let's talk to George. He wants to talk about adverse possession. That was where a guy called in and said the school district was using his land. They're trying to make an adverse possession play, I'm sure. And we talked about ways to get around it and why the law exists. You can listen to the podcast if you hadn't heard it. What's going on, George? What's your comment?
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Well, you're right. We don't know a whole lot about what the documentation would actually show in terms of how long this activity has been going on, et cetera. But it wouldn't take much, dollar-wise, for an attorney to research that for this guy. And if he's within the statute, I would suggest that he write permission.
Yeah.
Write up a permission with the condition that he uses the road as well, and then start using it and just document it with video, whatever.
But here's the problem with the road, I think, George. I don't know if you caught this part. And I wonder what you think about this. The problem with the road is only part of it is on his land. So if he starts using it, they're going to say he's trespassing on their land.
Well, he should use only the one that's on his land.
Only
and
part of it.
Off if he said he wanted access. He didn't mind the road. He wanted access to part of the road that they built, so he could do whatever.
Yeah.
So let him take advantage of that resource that they thankfully built for him, and just continue building. But of course, don't do any of that until he researches it through an attorney to make sure he's on good statutory standing. And throw it back on their court. Let them play defense at that point.
Okay, well, that's one strategy, because then they would have to do the heavy lifting at that point. You know, so no matter what, he's got to do something. That's for sure. John wants to talk about insurance and auto bodies. What's going on, John?
Hey, hi, Tom.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
It's going well today. We're having some great calls. What about this auto body shop?
Well, I want to get your opinion whether what I have going on with them is fair or not. So, my wife's car was caught up in that Lakewood hailstorm in May.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you try, by the way, paintless dent repair? Or is it worse than that?
No, that's what I wanted to happen.
Okay.
And I got an estimate from our insurance company and took it into the auto body shop, and they said, well, we should be able to do the work in 7 to 10 business days. So I left the car there.
Oh, man, you should have taken it to Flexident, but okay, too late.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But anyway, I learned my lesson on this one.
Okay, so what happened?
So after about 10 business days, we hadn't heard anything from them, so I gave them a call, and they said, well, we haven't even started work on the car. So I asked them why, and it sounded like they were dickering back and forth with the insurance company. So I contacted the insurance company, and they decided to, declare a total loss.
Okay.
On the car.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I guess I want the car back.
Yeah.
Went into the auto body shop, and they said, well, we will have to charge you a storage fee of $25 a day.
That's so screwed up. Why?
Yep.
Oh, give me a break. They're going to charge you a storage fee. That's rinky-dink. I don't like it at all. Now, is it illegal or wrong? I don't know, actually. It might be. They didn't have an agreement. Guys, how does that work with storage? Do you have to...
Well, the only time we charge storage is if people just won't come and get it. We use it to get...
I mean, this just sounds like they're trying to penalize you. It's punitive.
They didn't get the work, so they're
they're pissed. So if they want to declare a total loss, that's wrong. How long has it been there?
Well, it was there roughly 14 business days.
What's the name of the company?
It's Mako.
God.
And
let me ask you this. I mean, if they're going to charge storage charges, there should be a sign in their office saying something about storage charges.
You're right.
Well, they also, by law, have to notify you.
Absolutely.
They have to notify. You know what? We're going to call them because this is wrong. Dan, do you want to call them? Deputy Dan, do you have time to do that? Because you're at the controls there. I want to give
How much are they trying to get?
Yeah.
Well, they held the car ransom. It was $470. Wow. $75.
You already paid them?
Yeah, I had to get the car out, or
How'd you pay him?
With the credit card.
I would contest it on the credit card for sure. Yeah. And I would say there was no rental agreement, and they popped it on me. I paid it under protest, and I don't want to pay it. I would absolutely do that immediately. Immediately. That's just crap. Where is this Mako? Which one is it?
It's the one off of Alameda Union and Alameda Parkway.
So all that happened was it was there. They weren't getting to your insurance company fast enough, so you called your insurance. Your insurance sent an adjuster out there?
No.
how they total it.
Well,
hold on, because I'm really running over time, and Brutus is going nuts in there. So I basically, this is a great time to tell you about Flexident. That's where you should have gone, and I mean that. By the way, Flexident's not going to, they're not going to charge you storage. Flexident, what a great place to go. Flexident. Now, they have many, many years of experience. The downtime is minimal, and this paintless dent repair, I wouldn't go to a conventional shop. I would go to the guys that specialize in it, and that's Flexident. In fact, they have multiple locations, and they can get you in immediately. You can make an appointment for as early as next week. That's Flexident. And say hi to Nick and the boys, 303-619-6273, 303-619-6273.
This report is brought to you by Lowe's.
A few slow spots remain on the Highway Drive in the metro area. Good news, that earlier wreck southbound I-25 approaching Lincoln Avenue, that's gone. And that crash westbound I-70 approaching Colorado.
And ask them all that. Just challenge them. They're supposed to notify him of the charges and give him a chance to pick up the car first. And they're also supposed to have it posted in their shop.
Well, it says on the Colorado Track, the facility must have the customer sign a separate written agreement for any and all storage charges.
Yeah,
only after the fourth day, and no Saturdays, Sundays, and legal.
Only after the fourth day, and they have to sign an agreement ahead of time.
They can't charge storage on weekends or holidays.
Okay. This is wrong.
Yeah. And it also says the storage fee observation must be a separate document from the work order, estimate, or invoice in bold type with very specific verbiage.
And see, that would be hard to actually enforce that with a customer too, because you would have to have you'd have to call the customer
there's two ways of going. He wants his car.
Right.
So, I mean, the only reason why we would charge storage or to do anything is some kind of a threat, like, get your car out of here or we're going to charge you storage.
Well, because it's been sitting around too long.
It's been here for a
you
month.
left 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 messages
yeah,
for
exactly.
them, they don't call you back.
But this is different. They're trying to make money off the guys,
Yeah, but you don't know that a customer is going to leave the car at the shop.
Well, technically, you're supposed to have them sign it before they leave, letting them know that in the event this car is damaged.
I want to play the line play.
You technically can't.
You got a shot, immunized before going to the Philippines for diphtheria. You got immunized. He gets to the Philippines, guess what he gets?
Down here,
and so he's one to advise on what maybe he should do about it. Like, was the immunization bad? Or anyway.
No, I get you.
And the Corvette City one, the caller hung up. Do you still want me to call Corvette City?
What kind of a signal are you sending them?
Well, no.
Something negative.
I'm with you. I agree.
So you know what I do? I don't charge the storage. I just apply for a title. Got a company that we deal with. They charge us $500. I don't have to do any work.
How do you get the state inspections and all that other stuff?
They handle all that. Really? We have a company handles all that. I pay them $500. And you know what happens a lot of the times? The customers call me and say, "Hey, we want to pick up the car." Okay, here's the bill. Here's the bill plus the $500. I don't charge them storage charges. I just tell them,
what if the cars don't run? Are they able to get them out of there to get those?
Well, these are cars that we've already fixed. They're ready to go.
The state patrol has to inspect the bin, right?
No, because we're applying for a mechanics lien.
I understand. Yes.
Yeah, you know what? We had to do a VIN verification on a big truck that we picked up. Yeah, that's right.
But it's got to go to state patrol to get
verified. Yeah, we had to do that. That's right.
That's the biggest headache. Yeah. Because you used to be able to go over to state patrol and just wait in line. And
my point is just listen, hey, if you're not going to pick up the car, why don't you just call and say, hey, I'm not going to pick up the car. I just need to bring the title down to you and sign it over and just go ahead and sell it.
I hear you.
You know?
Hey, we have one way fixed and actually a referral from here. 2 months. Haven't seen her. And I don't know what's going on. Something happened to her. Something, because we've done work to it before.
Oh boy. People.
I never realized this. You're not allowed to charge storage for any days the repair facility is closed for business.
Yeah, I do that.
I didn't.
Which would be holidays.
Well, holiday, Saturday, Sunday. So if they can't pick the
holidays
day
and weekends.
You can't charge.
You're open Saturdays, aren't you?
No.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Guys need a couple of days.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
For the longest time, we tried to run a split crew where
Friday and Saturday is very important. I think evenings are important, but because you're paying for the space. Now, I'm not saying that you have guys work 6 days a week, and I know it's it's easier said than done because I'm not in the business doing it. But I'm talking from a consumer standpoint. Saturdays are really important to consumers, and evenings are.
Sure.
And if you can have, since the shop is there and you're still paying for it, there's a way you can do production in the evening and more customer stuff, interfacing during the day. That's what I did with Mark's business. He had a computer shop and he was so busy, he said, we can't keep up. I said, Mark, you have people building computers and going out to your crew in your store. I said, instead of wasting their time like that, I said, just have your people talking to people about repairs and all that during the day, and at night devote to production. Sure. You're paying rent anyway.
Well, that's a situation we have at the shop too.
Is this us? Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, I hope that you never need Winky Wink, but if you do, we've been talking to several people over the last few days, situations with death in the family, divorces, just problems, and especially medical bills. WinkandWink.com are bank attorneys Mike and Gigi Wink. We know them personally. They'll take care of you. They're great people. They'll never judge you. That's WinkandWink.com, 303-410-1720. 410-1720. Dan, did you call that company yet? Deputy Dan, did you get through or not? Yes or no? Quick. No?
The manager wasn't there.
Good. Okay, so they're going to call back. The manager wasn't there. Mark just joins us, Mark Major, and he's back. In the next hour, we'll talk about this major follow-up we have on a case that we've been following. So let's get back to this Mako thing. Under state law, Kevin, you looked that up. They can't charge this guy storage without a few things. First, in the very beginning, it has to be agreed to, right?
It's a written agreement. They have to inform him in the event of blah, blah, blah.
In the event of. And then, even after that, they can't charge until the 5th day.
The 5th day, after the 4th day.
And then,
after notifying him that charges will occur,
after the 5th day.
He has 4 days to get it.
Right. So they have to notify him, and then he has 4 days. So Mako is way, way, way out of line. Do you hear that, Dan? They are way out of the law. He should be able to contest this charge with no problem. So I don't know if the guy's still on the line or... Oh, yes, he is, John. So they broke the law, John, and when you contest it on your credit card, you tell them, first, under state law, they have to have a separate agreement in the beginning. Second, they have to notify you, and then you have 4 days to pick it up.
What's the name of this shim-sham company?
Mako. It's Mako.
Yep. AAMCO. No, that's a trans.
No, that's a trans. Yeah, I know.
Mako's a cheap, crappy paint job, in my opinion, right? That one.
Well, Mako is like the fast food restaurant of the body shop industry. So let's talk about another fast food shop, Meineke. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, I took my son's vehicle into for an oil change probably couple of years ago, and what happens, they stripped the pan, and the manager...
Wait, Ronnie, a couple years ago?
Yeah, but the manager said, well, he'll take care of it.
But wait, take care of what? Tell me what happened a couple of years ago.
Okay, a couple of years ago, I took the vehicle in for an oil change. I brought it home. It was leaking on the ground. I took it back to the Meineke, and they said, we're going to put an oversized bolts in there, and I said,
they stripped out the oil plug.
Yep.
Yeah, the oil plug. Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then they dropped the oil and tried to put another one in. It didn't work, so they ended up putting a piggyback bolt on the oil pan, which one threaded in.
Okay, and then what? Out. And then what happened, Ronnie?
And then, it worked fine. And then, about a week ago, my son came back and tells me, they said that the oil pan needs to be replaced because they had the piggyback oil plug in there. And I said, I told him, they put it on. And the manager said that he would take care of it. So I called up, and the manager got fired from there, I guess.
Okay, well, without a written agreement, you don't have anything anyway, Ronnie. I mean, you can't go back 2 years later and say the manager said. I mean, I wish the world was like that, but you can't. I mean, there's no way for them to know this is legit if they did it, if they have a problem.
Well, they have in the records that they put the piggyback oil plug, the fan bolt on there.
Okay, but they don't have anything in there. They don't have anything in there saying that they promised to take care of future problems. As far as they're concerned, it was fixed, right?
Well, the problem was, you know,
here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make you make the argument to me as if I'm a judge listening to this. So hold on a second. I mean, I don't see a contract there. Now, if there were notations on the work order saying there was a problem, you know, we'll take care of it or something, I don't know. Hold on and we'll explore it. People, get everything in writing. Even then it doesn't always work.
One of the more popular remodeling projects these days is replacement windows. Why? Your old windows aren't nearly as efficient as the modern technology. And you and I both know stuff wears out. Hi, Dan Cicchini, owner of Done Right Windows and Doors. And why done right? The best answer to why is, why not? Todd?
Well, Dad, there's no reason not to, but lots of reasons too.
Yeah, we're thinking about getting a Doberman after our German Shepherd.
Lots of color and practice. Expert installers that are
I'm dogless for the first time in 40 years.
Oh, wow. That's a nice break.
It is.
What's a good dog?
And I've done full service.
If you get
Smart.
if you have
No, they're little.
well, yeah, but they got energy.
Energetic.
Mine had Energet for like the first year and a half, and then it wasn't so bad.
Sure.
But it was a mix too. I don't know.
That was one of the first dogs we got when I was married. I was a kid.
They're supposed to be the smartest dog.
Very, very smart.
Yeah. Wow. How old is your Doberman boy?
13.
Oh, you get a deal.
Denver's Talk Station. More with Martino after the news.
Oh, yeah. Good personality, good attitude. Protective of the house.
Yeah. Even at 13, you wouldn't walk in that house without
right. Big bosses. Boy or girl?
Russian lawyer Nadia Veselnitskaya then first reported. One person who was there, a Russian-American lobbyist.
There may have been yet another person in that meeting. Donald Trump's attorney, Alan Futerfast, told Fox News
the only thing we had to
was
watch out
another
on anything we pulled in.
Oh, good.
She would check every seat, jump in, do all this to fluff it up.
And if the guy wants to go on the air, fine with me.
Our tow truck we had the best seat in town because it was redone every 30 days. Because we forget to roll the windows.
Mark, let me take a look at it. We want to be sure to have all rights of ownership going forward. Now, this is what I said. We would even like the right to use the code and alter it, repackage it, and sell it under another name. Now, that's asking, in my opinion, too much, but that's what you want me to ask to begin with, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I don't think it's too much to ask, because if you think about it, we're paying them $80,000 to write us software.
Okay.
Or, I hate saying shit on air, I don't think of that, but you know what I'm saying. We're paying a lot of money to have them develop something for us. They have said this is a development project. We're not buying a white box. We're not buying Microsoft Word from them. We're having them invent Microsoft Word for us, or a version of it. You know what I mean?
I want to grow up to be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. There's enough food in this country to feed everybody. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. Why at least
You know, adverse possession, I heard that coming in. I got a buddy going through that. He ended up settling, but when he bought the house, they didn't do a survey, and there's been a barn about 20 feet of his neighbors on their property and a fence line for, you know, the house was built in the 60s.
Sure.
So what the fuck are you going to do? I mean, you can't have the guy tear down his barn. So, I mean, there has to be a rule like adverse possession in some cases. And if Uncle Sam can take my shit under eminent domain, why can't I take someone else's shit?
The title company probably should have known that. Huh? Are they supposed to research that?
What makes it, well, first of all, Jason probably bought it with cash, so I don't know if there was a title company involved, but...
Well, the title company would have to do a survey on the...
I didn't have to do a survey on the
Not
building I
survey,
just sold.
but I don't know what title companies, if they actually go out there and take pictures or...
Yeah, but you would have never seen
Right,
it.
unless you would have surveyed.
You know how much the damn survey costs? I mean, on commercial property, it's thousands upon thousands. And I would guess in any property, actually.
Find out. Improve your home with new windows during Champion's Summer Savings Sale.
I think George Washington got
Swap
rich.
new windows and pay no
He was a
interest
surveyor.
or payments until
Was he?
2019.
Yeah, George Washington.
GetChampion.com.
Well, that guy was
I
one
thought
of
he
the
chopped down apple
He
trees.
did that
Cherry
on his spare
trees.
time.
Or cherry trees.
In his spare time.
Divorce Matters Law Firm. Give Divorce Matters a call. We have attentive and knowledgeable lawyers to negotiate a fresh start. Divorce-Matters.com.
That was that night.
So what do you do? What do you do when you have a survey in your property? The adjacent property owner has a survey done on their property, and the survey lines conflict
Much further. Blue Heron Capital.
by 6, 8, 10 feet.
360 degrees of your financial life in retirement.
Oh, I know, but they do on my property.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Medicare and Social
I
Security.
got so mad at this guy because he wanted to put,
Key areas of your
you know, we're living up the mountains here. Why do you want to put fences up? You know, you want to leave everything over and make it look pretty.
Retirement specialist. Let's meet and talk about your retirement goals. In our complimentary retirement plan checkup, we'll review your retirement
That
plan.
guy's dangerous with that Corvette. He wants to electronic ignition in it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, this guy.
And
Oh.
making sure that all aspects.
People
but
would
that's
kill.
not- that's
People would kill to have the
You know, the
As long
media,
as he saves it.
you notice the media never got up in Obama's asshole like they are with.
Oh, no.
Oh, why
Never.
wouldn't they ask Obama, why are your college records sealed? Why?
Yeah.
Why are they sealed?
Yeah.
What are you hiding? They never once, never asked.
Because he didn't want to be racist.
Huh?
Because he didn't want to be racist.
Well, no.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Okay, I'm not even going to argue that. Fine.
voted
You
for
want
it.
to say it's a racist thing? I think it's more of a liberal.
Absolutely.
News is extreme.
It's all the left.
It's all the left.
It is the liberal, but they can also have the race card there.
They could have. That is part of the liberal bylaw. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I mean, truly, I'm not talking about him being born in another country, but there's something about his records at college he doesn't want out. Otherwise, why are they sealed? Why? Why?
No, you're absolutely right.
I think that he listed himself as a foreign student.
He did.
I totally
Listed
agree.
himself as what? What'd you say? A foreign student. Yep.
Oh,
Because he had a dual citizenship situation,
Right.
so he
Hawaii.
used it.
I'm not even saying, no, I'm
No,
not
his
even saying he
father
was
was
born in
from,
another country,
right.
but I think he tried to use it.
Well, with his heritage, he tried to use it for his advantage.
And then that would start a shitstorm. But there is a reason why his college records do not exist.
Yes.
No one else has. Why? And the other thing, I'm not saying he was born in another country because they label you some birther racist.
Yeah.
But why does his social security number not work? Why is it not a proper
I didn't
social
know
security
that.
number? It truly isn't. And why does he get away with that? Why? They never look into it.
it's the race card. And
That's all I'd like to know. Why don't they look
It's
into
not
that?
just the race
Political.
card. It's the doctrine.
It
When
is
you
doctrine.
you're indoctrinated into the
And
media.
anybody who voted for him shouldn't be allowed to vote again.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Hi, Tom Martino. Hey, listen, we got live broadcasts on YouTube and live on Facebook, and we are live every day, plus all of our podcasts on iHeartMedia. We have our iHeartRadio. You know what? It's unbelievable what we have as far as reach. So if you're anywhere and need help, remember 24/7 303 Martino. No matter what time, no matter when you see the podcast or listen to the podcast, it is 303 Martino. You either get our answering machine, our office, or our studio. We route the call for you, 303 Martino, 303-627-8466. Right now, during the show, immediately, it's 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Ronnie's talking about Meineke. It's car day today. I have a couple guests. Mark Machowski from Budget A1 Transmission Auto Repair, Kevin Calkin from Sheridan Auto Tech, and we're taking calls about cars, but we'll take everything. So what about this Meineke thing? What's happening? Ronnie?
Well, I called up the district manager, and he didn't return my call.
Yes.
And I called up the guy named Willie, and he
But
said,
what is
well,
your main complaint that really? The oil pan. I mean, well, you don't have it in writing. You don't have, do you? Do you have anything in writing that's? By the way, for those listening, they stripped out. They just stripped out his oil plug. They put an oversized plug in it or another plug, and after a few years, it just wore out the pan. The pan is no good. How many miles on this car?
There's a lot of miles.
How many?
It's my son's car. Probably 160,000.
Okay, I would argue that it maybe isn't all their fault, but it doesn't matter. You don't have. Look at the manager. He said, "Hey, we'll take care of it." What does that mean?
Yeah,
we'll take care of it. What did he say he would do?
Well, every time they brought it in, they just changed the oil and it never leaked.
Okay, but what did it mean? We'll take care of it.
That I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Did he say, Ronnie? Did he say if you have to replace this oil pan in the future, we will pay for replace? Okay. Well then,
I knew that they would. See, I've been 30 years ASC Master Certified, and you know
it sucks.
Pardon me?
It sucks. This whole thing.
Yeah, it does. You know, the problem is if the other manager was there, and they did all the work, all the oil changes on it since then, and you know, once they stripped it out.
You're a faithful customer. You know what? You're a faithful customer, but really and truly,
I shouldn't have done that.
But no matter what, if you had a car truly with 160,000 miles on it, and they put a double plug in it, I'm not sure that when they talk about piggyback plug, let me make sure I have this straight. Is it a plug that's oversized that goes into the pan with a smaller plug in the middle of it? That's what it is? Okay. It's a plug within a plug. That in itself does not cry defect, or if it lasted 2 years, I have to tell you something. It may not be their problem. They may have done a correct repair.
That's a temporary repair, though.
Oh, it is. Is it considered temporary?
I consider it temporary.
Well, I'm not asking that. Does the industry consider it temporary? Do they make them for temporary use only?
In my opinion, it is temporary, yes.
Is it, Mark?
Yeah, and it's not an OEM replacement, part or repair.
It's fixing
a patch job. It's a patch
fixing
job.
A screw up.
And if they screwed the pan out and they can't fix it properly with an oversized drain plug, tap the drain plug,
then what they would have to do is weld it or weld in a new.
How do you know it wasn't the last shop that stripped it, putting it in?
Because he's always taken it
That's
there.
where he's always gone.
Then it could have been them either time. Then.
That's what I'm saying. So do they owe him a new pan on a 160,000-mile vehicle?
What does mileage have to do with anything if they broke apart on a car? What does mileage have to do with it?
Well, here's why, Mark. Are you going to give him a new engine? If you blew his engine with 160,000 miles on it, you going to give him a new engine?
Oh, but that's a little different. Can't you give the customer a used oil pan?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
But it's still the exact same question.
Exactly.
No. What Tom's saying is the exact same thing. If it came out while he was driving and it ended up destroying the entire engine, why would you only cover the oil pan but not the engine if you're saying it needs to be covered?
The engine is not destroyed.
No, not now. We're talking about the oil pan, yes.
If it was.
Don't you think that car deserve? I mean,
I agree with you, Mark, on the engine.
Should he have to contribute anything toward that repair? I think when you have an old car, what about depreciation? I don't know. I'm asking. Listen, an oil pan is different because usually an oil pan will last the life of the engine, right? Exactly. So they don't wear out. It's not like they broke something on there.
Lug nuts strip all the time and snap off. I mean, you get a car that's 40 years old, man, you could do everything right and you can break a lug nut or strip it.
That's because the people in all the years that would have been putting the lug nuts on the stud have been over-tightening them.
That's what I'm getting at, is that over the years, it wasn't this one time these guys broke it. It's not reasonable to expect them to pay for the whole job, in my opinion. Because,
but it doesn't sound like they're offering anything.
No, they're not. They should offer something, but they're offering nothing.
No, they're not offering anything. I asked them. They won't even talk to me.
Here's a guy that goes there.
And what kind of car is it? What kind of car is it?
It's a Volkswagen. Here's a 90 Jetta.
What year?
What year? Okay, it's fine.
Well, it's just a little repair. It's very easy to change.
What year is it?
It's a 94, 93. But thing is, you know, I do know a little bit about cars.
23 years old, 160,000 miles, guys.
Yeah, but you know, I do know a lot about cars. I've been certified for over 30 years.
And what? Therefore what? Therefore they should pay for your pan? What are you saying? You're a mechanic, so what?
I say to do what they said they would do. You know, I didn't take the car in there with
But they didn't say they would replace your oil pan.
No, the manager said that he would take care of me, and that's what he is. He has been doing, but he got fired, and now that I take it in, so they tell me that, well, you're gonna have to put another oil pan because you got a pony back. You got a plug in there that has a pony in there, and I said, yeah, you guys installed it.
Do they have the record of installing that?
And he goes, yeah, they're the ones that he even looked it back up in his records. Said, oh yeah, I did see that we installed it.
Okay, good. Then sue him. Then just sue him.
Do you really have? When's the last time you were there for an oil change? I'm just curious. How many thousands of miles and months ago?
My son took it in there last week. He took it in there for another
the
oil
one
change.
before that, he means. We mean the one before that where it worked.
Well, it's the thing.
Ronnie,
Tom.
When was the last oil change before this one?
Probably 6 months ago.
Okay. At 6 months ago, they didn't say a word. Why do they say the pan needs to be replaced?
Because the pan is not dripping oil. They said they're gonna. If the pony plug's still working, it's a temporary fix, but still working. But they telling me that it needs an oil pan, and I said because it has a pony.
Just bring it somewhere else and get a second opinion. And if
Ronnie, I still haven't heard any. I haven't heard this. They recommend an oil pan, but it is not leaking, right?
No, sir, it's not leaking.
Okay. Then why are we even talking about it?
Because they're not going to do any more oil changes on it.
Oh, they don't want to be responsible for it.
Because they said that because that pony plug's in there. And I said, well, you guys are the ones that installed it.
Okay.
I didn't install it.
I understand that.
And they went back on their records. And
I understand.
Tell me, yeah, we
Ronnie,
didn't put it in, but
then I don't know what to tell you, man. I think it's so stupid that they said that. They are refusing to do work on that pan because there's a plug in there that they installed. I agree with you. And the problem is, I don't think that you're going to get them to install a new pan. However, they should at least contribute to it. I mean, they're admitting. But see, here's the point I'm trying to make. Are you still there, Ronnie? I think you got disconnected. I didn't disconnect.
I can call him back.
You don't have to. Here's the point I'm trying to make. I don't even think they were totally responsible for stripping it the first time. Do you understand that? It's a lottery on these oil pans.
Only if they did every single oil change.
Right.
From the beginning of 160,000 and 10-plus years worth of oil changes, and I doubt it.
Right. So what we're getting at is that they're not even fully responsible the first time. Just like snapping a lug nut. If you don't do anything negligent, it could have been the 6 other times you had those tires messed with. Right. So we're trying to be reasonable. Do you hear that? And by the way, Meineke we have no association with. So I treat people, whether they're on the referral list or not, the same. So you know, don't say I'm going easy on Meineke. It's not reasonable to hold them responsible for that the first time around. Plus it went 2 years after that. So I don't think that they really owe you anything. That's my own opinion. I think they should chip in as a gesture of goodwill because they did that original plug.
Wait till you hear my courtroom
rendition of what happened.
Incredible.
We'll do it coming back right after this.
I'm excited to hear about this. You know about this, guy?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
We can't talk.
Was it an automotive deal?
No.
Biggest?
It's probably the largest one we've dealt with ever. It's the largest consumer scan in Denver history.
Really?
That I don't know for a fact, but it's got to be one of the top. over $10 million. We have never had
Question
in all of my entire career.
CenturyLink could beat this soon if Colorado sues them like Minnesota and other states.
But I'm talking about an individual scam artist who took people for over $10 million.
Wow. I can't wait to hear it.
I have never had that happen in Colorado.
You know, there wasn't one.
No,
one fucking camera.
They won't.
Nothing.
Because it was our story, and they ignored it from beginning to end.
Why is that? I was going to ask that when we first.
The only video of this fucker is me in his face, probably a year and a half ago.
We are the only people because they don't understand the problem. The media does not cover stuff they don't understand. They just don't cover.
And it's actually not that hard to understand. You guys will pick it up because you deal with it.
So
how can they say it's not a story?
You know, if media reported things
because they didn't. It's not their story, so they don't care.
Tom, if media reported things that meant something in people's lives, wouldn't that media be
I would
more
like
popular?
to know why. I would like to ask TV News, why did you never cover this story, the largest consumer ripoff in the state's history? Why didn't you cover it?
I'd like to hear
I bet they do now, after he's convicted.
Not one.
There wasn't one person there, man.
Really? You don't think
He's been convicted. This is sentencing.
There's not one story.
He's fucking guilty in April.
Not
this
one
was
story.
sentencing.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's done. It's over. Well, actually, it's not, but it's very close.
Well, yeah, but
what do you think he's the sentencing? The sentencing is going to be
15 years.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the whole. There's controversy again.
Okay. What's the court that went? Was it county court, city court?
Fucking no, man. This is fucking big
Criminal
time.
court.
No, this is federal criminal. He'll probably end up in Oklahoma City or Kansas. He won't end up anywhere in Colorado. His ass will be gone.
We have a federal
prison.
No, you never end up in the same state.
Oh, really?
That's
the way it works?
No, they ship you the fuck out. It's wherever an opening is. I know way too much about it because of the guy that ripped me off. His shit was all federal.
They don't purposely, though, ship.
They almost, I don't know of any that get sent to the same state. Like Martha Stewart probably went to a completely different state than where she lived.
People, tell everyone to listen to this podcast. Outlet, the only media outlet. I don't want to even call myself news. I pride myself at not being news. I pride myself on being a helpful media, informative media.
You did not hear this on The Problem Solvers. You did not hear this on 9 Wants to Know. No, you didn't hear this anywhere in media because, first, they didn't understand it. Second, they're not privy to real scams. Yet, it was the largest consumer ripoff scam by an individual in Colorado history. So it would be good to ask your local news outlet, if you watch Channel 4, Channel 7, Channel 9, and the 2 or 3 of you that watch Channel 2 or Fox 31, you may want to ask all the high school journalists why they didn't cover the largest consumer ripoff in Colorado history. Why? Because we uncovered it, we followed it through, and we hounded authorities to take action. This man literally was getting ready to leave the country. Leave the country. We got this guy dead on. We got the victims lined up. We interviewed him. We did stories. And I'm telling you that they took action.
We contacted the IRS numerous times.
Yep, and they knew nothing about it. We got everybody involved, and now the man is in prison. His name is Don Eiley. Isn't it weird? You can hear about stupid little stings that they do for $1,000 repair job or something stupid, or they do stories that are inane. No, I mean, we do big and small stories, but the largest consumer ripoff. You should be ashamed of yourself if you call yourself a consumer reporter, a finance reporter, an investigative reporter. Are you kidding me? What they call investigative reporting is starting out in the morning with an idea and ending up with it on TV that night. They investigated all of 8 hours. Here's the bottom line. Don Eiley was an accountant who did payroll services for multiple small to medium-sized businesses. 140 businesses. Now listen, that's a lot. Now, when you do payroll, what you do is you're in charge of collecting the payroll taxes from your clients and forwarding them to the IRS along with a form.
It's a 941.
A 941
and it's
form.
filed quarterly. But to make sure everybody understands, he had access to the majority of all these people's bank accounts to automatically withdraw that fund every month.
He would take the tax money from the clients, the employers, the companies.
Every month.
He would take the money. He would divert that money to his own account, but not pay it to the IRS or state. Instead, he would file phony 941 forms. Those phony 941 forms would show that no payroll tax is due.
That's correct.
Therefore, the state and the feds had no reason to contact the clients.
Then he would fill out the client's QuickBooks or whatever software to show that they actually did pay it, because that's what most of these payroll companies do.
The reason we are going step by step like this is for our ignoramus moron media members. If they want to do the story, they can rip this off and use it for themselves, because we believe the story should be told. So this is for all my colleague morons. Now, here's what you do. You get a guy like this who collected more than $10 million. We estimate over the 10 years he was doing this, it's more like $20 million. But they were able to document 9 point...
No, that's not true. When I told you that 9.7, what that is what the restitution was set at, because they did find some money.
Okay.
So it was at least $12 million, arguably up to 20.
Okay. So we figure 20 million based on our calculations. They found about a couple million, but they ordered 9.7 million in restitution, and then came the sentencing. But before the sentencing, I'm going to give it over to Mark so he can explain what is called an impact statement. Here's what an impact statement is. They go to the victims and they ask them, what should the sentence be and why? And the victims are able to talk about the impact that the perpetrator, Don Eiley, had on their lives. This would have made great TV or great newspaper articles, but again, our local media does not cover real news. What happened, Mark?
Well, first of all, packed courtroom. And I got to give it to this judge. Her name is District Court Judge.
And we were the only media representative.
Absolutely, that I saw. U.S. District
Well, there's no
Court,
story on him anywhere.
Christine M. Arguello. Okay? Great woman, and here's why I say this. She is very hard on white criminal crime. Remember, this is all federal stuff, U.S. Attorney. So I got there a little late because I thought it was at 3. It got moved to 2. I watched probably 10 impact statements. Remember, we're talking 120 to 140 people that got hurt by this guy. And I always looked at the financial part of it. There was one guy there lost $700,000. Eiley stole $700,000 from him over a period of time. I think it was 7-8 years, which, by the way, I'll get into this part, how the IRS has no idea how to match stuff up over a 7-year period blows my brain.
All right, talk about the impact.
Okay, so these people get up, one after another, and I got to tell you, Tom, some of the stuff that stuck with me is, let's talk relationships. There was divorces out of this stuff. There was 2 brothers that owned a business together, a family business they ran. This put them in bankruptcy, and one brother just moved out of state, and the other brother hasn't talked to him in a year. It ruined relationship. This scumbag ruined a ton of people's marriages and other things.
And families.
Oh,
he
just
destroyed
family
businesses. Yet, not one word on your local news about the largest ripoff in Colorado history, the most impact, more than $10 to $20 million. Here's the deal, folks. You should ask your local media why they haven't dug into this story.
Think of this.
It's a shameful thing. Now, this guy should have been exposed. And why do I want media coverage for this guy? Because it will warn other businesses and other clients who have payroll services to do their homework.
There's a bigger reason.
And it's news you can use. What's the other reason?
The biggest reason these news stations need to jump on this is the IRS has got to be pressured here. These people legitimately, hey, there's dirtbags that don't pay their tax bill. We all know this. These people legitimately did everything they knew to do to pay their employees properly. They weren't paying under the table. They weren't doing anything wrong that they knew of. The problem is the IRS is not only seeking, an example, $700,000 from that one guy, but in some cases they want penalty and interest, which can be $100,000 plus. We have got to get the IRS to actually open their eyes and go after Eiley, which, of course, probably still has about 10 million out there that we don't know where it is.
In other words, we don't want these people. We don't want these people suffering.
Going out of business. Forget suffering. How about all the people they employ? How about the livelihoods they use forever? But listen to this. Not only did it affect relationships, it's created numerous bankruptcies. Listen to this one. Think of the employees now, Tom, and think of the owners that take normal W-2 income. For 7 years in some cases, the IRS has zero, Kevin, I use you as an example, under your Social Security number. When you go to retire at age whatever, 65, 66, Tom, how do they figure out how much Social Security you get?
By your earnings.
By your earnings. They take, I think it's a 20-year average. They take the highest whatever.
Quarter.
The highest quarter out of 20, whatever it is.
Or the highest quarters, right. There's
these people have a big hole in everything right now.
Because he reported zero or very little.
Zero. Their Social Security shows zero. So when they go to retire, not only are they affected right now, when they go to retire, they're going to be re-affected.
We need to hear the impact statements coming up. I want to hear what they say.
Wait till you hear what this judge did, and it's going to blow your mind and give you faith in our system.
This is a major story. This lying, scumbag, cheating accountant is in prison. It's in prison now because he was even trying to wrangle out of that. But this is a great story when you hear it. When you hear it. Speaking of these scumbags, Joe Lazara is a criminal defense attorney that couldn't help him. But Joe Lazara is available to you for minor crimes, major crimes, whatever. But let me explain Joe Lazara. He hates helping people if it can be avoided. He'd rather you avoid it. That's true. He truly does. He says there are so many cases that don't have to be there because they could have had a designated driver. When it comes to a DUI or smoking marijuana or anything like that, you can have a designated driver or simply use Uber or Lyft or a taxi service. Joe can handle your case if you need him. I hope you never do. He is a great guy. Joseph A. Lazara, 303-429-6200.
She got pissed.
I couldn't believe it.
She got pissed?
Yeah, let's talk.
Nice.
I don't want to say it till we come back to it.
Yeah.
We're on there.
I've never.
This scumbag line.
Well, I can't say I've never heard of it, but I've never dealt with anybody that's dealt with it in any regard. And it really made me understand. It really made me understand something about plea deals. It really made me understand something.
And how was Eiley in the courtroom?
You know who really got screwed on a plea deal, and I don't care what you think about him. You know who got ultimately so screwed on a plea deal it'll blow you away? You know what I'm going to say?
O.J. Simpson.
No. There was no plea deal. It's found innocent. Now you threw the black comedian, the Family Guy.
George.
Cosby.
How did he get screwed?
He got ultimately screwed because all the
Was he sentenced?
No. It was a mistrial.
Right.
But the only reason the cops went after him, he did a plea deal with the DA about 15 years ago on this one case, okay? They said in exchange for you paying her on the civil side of it, we'll never use his deposition, we'll never do anything. So he basically made a plea deal. We'll pay the victim, that's kind of what your thing's going to be. So that DA retired. The new DA comes in and goes, I don't care what the old DA said. I'm going after him. I'm not going to live up to what my predecessor said. So that really taught me something. If anybody ever offers you a fucking deal in the criminal justice system,
I didn't think
you better watch it.
I thought they signed off on it.
They freaking flim-flammed him. Not saying they shouldn't have in his case.
Right. So, the attitude of Eiley in the courtroom.
Not a word. I didn't even hear a whisper.
Did he look like this?
He looked
like that?
He has definitely lost weight. You know what's funny? His own family wasn't there. According to his attorney, they were somewhere in the building, but they weren't in the courtroom.
Oh God!
Hey, when I was in that exact same courtroom in 2009, watching the guy who took about $250,000 from me get sentenced. Same exact courtroom. Same exact courtroom. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
And his family, his wife was there. It was about 20 of us on one side doing impact statements and listening, and then on the other side it was him and his wife, his daughter, his kids weren't even there.
So it's like a wedding.
You know,
It's like a really good hillbilly wedding.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is,
with as big of a case as this is, why isn't all the news stations down there?
Well, first of all, it's federal court. There's no cameras anywhere. In fact, if they catch you taking a picture inside there, your phone is literally.
Or you could have been drawing.
Here's what mine would look like.
Yeah.
Here's Don Eiley.
He's looking sad. He's got a blank look on his face.
That's right, with a little.
Yeah. Brown.
I'll tell you what, though, his attorney, he did hire a good attorney. The numbers I heard is he's got $200,000 in his criminal attorney.
Very natural and
Here's the thing, how much money, here's really the real question if you think about it. Let's say 8 years, let's take $13 million, which I think is probably less than the real amount. Okay, but I think it's a fair number for this. What did he do with $13 million? Here's all we know for a fact. He paid $140,000 for his daughter's college. This is what he's admitted to. Okay. And $900,000 to pay off his mortgage on his almost.
So he's got $12 million left over.
So they're basically, they came up with 1.5. Where the fuck is the rest of the money?
Sure.
He's saying lavish lifestyle. I was going on vacations. I was buying cars. I was doing this. I was doing that. That's pretty lavish. But it's not. Come on, man. There's people that drop $100,000. You know, there's people that drop $1 to $2 million a year because they're making $5 or $6 a year. But now we're only talking, you know, $13 million over an 8-year period. With nothing to show for it. That's the whole thing. It's not like he's got all this car collection or jewelry. Where's the money?
So you laundered it, you're saying?
Oh, and when he was going through the bankruptcy part of this, the trustee was getting very upset.
He filed bankruptcy?
Oh, yeah. The bankruptcy has nothing to do with what he owes. If it's criminal, you can't get rid of it in a bankruptcy.
I mean, the bankruptcy was a result of the charges and everything else?
Oh, my God. Every client sued him for all the money. So he had to go bankrupt.
He went BK to get rid of it, I guess. Yeah.
But you can't get rid of that debt.
You going after his wife?
Actually, I bet he was forced. I never looked into it. I should have had Jeff pull it, but he probably, most likely, was forced into bankruptcy.
Are they going after his wife? You know she knew.
She wasn't there. I don't know. I don't think there's a separate
Just
hearing.
like Bernie Madoff.
I don't know if
Madoff
she
wife.
knew.
Oh, come on.
Well, I don't know. You think Madoff?
$9 million he pulls in, and he's an accountant. His wife wouldn't know. She's
I don't know.
really dumb as a rock.
I don't know if that's even true, Dan. I don't know. You would think so.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martuno here, talking about one of the largest rip-offs.
Tom Martuno here, talking about one of the largest rip-offs, one of the largest consumer rip-off, single consumer rip-off in Colorado history. You did not hear on the news. You will hear about it. I'm updating it on sleevesbrigade.com. And
he looked horrible, by the way.
And so it's Don Eiley. If you listen to the podcast, he's an accountant who did a payroll service for multiple 148 businesses, wasn't it, Mark?
140.
140. And we figure pilfered more than $20 million from him with phony IRS forms and keeping the tax money. Okay, so they had to give impact statements before the judge.
Just one after another after another.
So
Very
what were
sad,
some of them?
ruined
What
lives.
were some of them?
Well, one woman came up in tears and said, listen, I've had so much stress because of this. It's hurt my relationship. Now I have major health problems. I mean, I swear to God, it probably took 10 years off of her life.
And there were literally families broken apart.
Oh, just one after another on these impact statements. And I was only there for half of them. I missed a bunch of them. So it was an incredible thing. I started tearing up at some of these because I started understanding it's not just monetary. These are businesses, employees, relationships this man destroyed.
Right. And
now
if anybody's been affected by him, let us know. But let's talk about this then.
The judge.
What was the sentencing by statute could not exceed what?
Well, no, it's not by statute.
Right,
what happens, basically, the government, okay, the U.S. government recommended after he agreed to plead guilty to different counts that he should be at the bottom of the spectrum, which is anywhere in between 97 to 121 months. So basically you're talking, 7.5 to 10 years. That is what the government basically recommended to the judge. The judge hears all this. Eiley's attorney is arguing for the 97, of course, not the 121 months. Then the most amazing thing ever happened. Judge Christine Arguello, and I hope I'm saying that right. Great woman.
Whatever. It's Arguella. Arguella. I don't know, actually.
Arguello, whatever.
Arguella.
So, here's what happens. She says, you know what? I understand that you guys are recommending 97 to 121. This is so egregious. I am not going to follow the guidelines. I'm going to give them 15. I'm going to give them 180, I think is what she ultimately said. So 15 years. His attorney jumps up and goes, oh, my God, this is outrageous. This is crazy. And, of course, I'm paraphrasing. He goes, I don't think you're allowed to do this. And then they called a recess. She goes back, does some research. The attorney does some research. They call everybody back, and the judge says, yeah, I am allowed to do this. I'm allowed to bump up whatever guidelines I can basically, I'm the judge. I can basically do what I want. So what his attorney asked for is he basically wants a continuance on the sentencing so he can go back and form better arguments to bring to the judge to basically bring her back down to the 97 to 121. And here's what I love about this judge. She goes, you know what? If you want another week to get arguments, and I think they're doing it again on the 25th, so 10 days to get arguments, that's fine. But he's going into custody right now. Nice. We're going to call the U.S. Marshals in here. They're going to lock him up, and that's it. So if you want to do that, Don Eiley's got to make a decision right now. Now, understand, and I went through this with a guy that stole from me, and I was in that same courthouse 10 years ago, Tom. Some of these white-collar crimes, it's unbelievable. They're found guilty. I was at the sentencing for my guy, and what I didn't understand was he didn't get handcuffed and brought off to jail that time. He had 3 weeks to show up in Oklahoma City and check himself in. So Eiley was not thinking he was going to jail yesterday, but he did end up saying, yes, I'm going to have my attorney do this. So Eiley had a decision to make. Do I go to jail today, or, you know what, I think he's a flight risk, because in my opinion, there's $10 million missing. So I think he's a huge flight risk.
She even said that, right?
Yeah, she did. Well, she didn't say she was, it was kind of weird. She's way smarter than me. She phrased it to where we all understood she was saying that, but for a legal argument, she didn't really use it. He could be, or other people have done it.
Now, anyone affected by Eiley, we'd love for you to call us. You can use 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. I'm updating the story right now.
It's crazy, man. Those impact statements, and I got to say, I am so impressed with this judge. I wish Denver and Denver County and other counties had judges like this U.S. Judge Christine. She's unbelievable. She said, you know what, I don't care what you guys think he should get. I just listened to, you know, hundreds of people that basically got their lives ruined because of this dirtbag.
Here's what's fun, Mark. Do you know that the original date that we published this was in July of 16.
When I went and confronted them.
This is only a year. We got to give kudos to our people, our authorities. I mean, we have to, not our people. I mean,
well, it's the U.S. I mean, you know why though, Tom? You know what? Because I'll tell you why. Because it's the IRS. They want their money. Now, here's the other part about it, and this part's big to me. Why is the IRS not dealing with these people and just waiving it? They know they paid it. There's no argument there. Now, granted, I can't say I'd want the law changed or legislation to change to where if this happens again, they automatically waive it because someone will figure out how to work the system. But in this case, the judge, the IRS agent, the criminal guy at least.
The judge wanted to give him how many years? 20? Or 15? And why? So why is it continued?
It's continued because his attorney convinced her, because she's outside of the scope of 97 to 121 months, that he wants to put arguments together to try to change her mind. He wants to find case law to say, hey, you shouldn't do this. I mean, that's basically what he wanted time for. But think about this. The IRS is still going after the money these people owe, and they're doing it aggressively. There's already been bankruptcies. The reason the news needs to pick this up more than anybody, and I'm talking the fake news, all these stations we're talking about around here, they got to at least try to get some publicity so this thing can get national. I guarantee if this ended up at 60 Minutes or 2020 or one of these shows, the IRS would show some damn compassion to these poor people that lost their ass.
Why? I'm wondering, Mark, you really do bring up a good point. If you know that they did not cheat, why does it have to be black and white like that?
Well,
why?
and I thought about this.
And I got to tell you,
listen,
you are using an excellent argument. There's a conviction here. They can trace the forms to this guy. I think what they're going to say is, here's what I think they're going to say. We can't do it because what will prevent people from having plausible deniability in the future?
That's right.
If we set a court precedent right now,
that's right.
If we set a court precedent, here's what happens. And then in the future, some mafioso or somebody does this on purpose. They have a firm on purpose saying, you cheat me, and if it is found out, I'll get off. Maybe that's why.
Well, not just that. Think of it this way. How about Suzanne and I run into business. She's doing payroll. We do it for 8 years. We got $10 million. I take the fall for it. I go to prison for 10 years. Well, I don't know. Would you go to prison for 10 years for $1 million a year?
Absolutely not.
Well, I don't know, man. Some people made the argument. Some people made the argument yesterday. You know, they thought this guy was going to get 4 years. One guy broke it down going, oh, that's great. So he does 4 years. His family has $10 million to live off of in Argentina or wherever, and he gets out and he's got his money. Some people...
Where is the money? That's what we don't know.
No one knows.
By the way, we don't know. So if anyone has any theories or if you've been affected, 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. Listen, Robert, I'm going to take you next. I'll take the rest of you. I promise. It's car day today. Trenner Law, if you need intellectual property out, Mark and I right now, are we using them or not? We are.
Oh, man, I talked to him an hour ago.
Yeah, we have a contract. We're doing an app for something, and Mark Trenner is helping us with the ownership rights. I got to tell you, he's the greatest when it comes to copyright or intellectual property, not just protecting things, but if you're entering into any contracts for software or anything like that and you need advice, Trenner Law on our referral list, 720-221-3708.
Man, I used to have a stash of beer. It's all gone.
Yeah, you should stick it up there.
You know what it is? Someone's stealing it and drinking it. I'm not going to say who.
Not me.
Oh, damn.
Don Eiley came in here.
Don Eiley broke into the studio. He lost a shitload of weight.
You guess how old he is. Tom, how old do you think he is?
Oh, I didn't look it up. How old is he?
52.
52.
What it said
He
online.
looks. You should
He looks.
give him bioteam. Would you go to jail?
Yeah, he'll lead a hard on.
He can get him at the commissary.
He's gonna get.
Would you go to jail for $1 million a year?
Oh man.
No,
I would. No.
Do you think every
No, but
Saturday
first of all,
night
we're not talking Denver County. We're talking where Martha Stewart went.
Okay.
Oh, no, you're right.
No.
Is the federal prison truly cushy?
Oh, compared to any state-run facility, hell yeah, or any.
I don't think the one down in what's the one down in South
Shit,
Canyon City?
that's Supermax, man.
Yeah.
That's not federal prison.
No, the federal one around here is in Lakewood. That's where McVeigh was held during the city bomb.
Right off of was it Wadsworth or Kip?
It's the next one
Kipling?
down. No, it is Wadsworth.
Yeah.
Just south of
Kipling.
285.
Kipling.
Yeah, he was out there. No, they're not. Listen, that's a Supermax. Those guys are in the cell 23 hours a day, but yes, they have a TV, they have other shit. I mean, it is what it is. I think human psyche after 6 months, I don't know what the time frame is, you get used to your environment.
You got to shut down. It drives you crazy.
I don't know about that.
$1 million bucks a year. Would you do it for 1 year?
No. I wouldn't, Mark. I wouldn't give up my time.
I'm not saying I would either. I'm just saying there's a
Why
shitload of people that would.
On the outside, why would I?
Well, that's true.
I mean, it's like.
Well, then it comes down to anything. $10 million a year.
When I do a year in prison with $10 million now, $100 million I may even consider.
Didn't have anything.
Oh, so long as I'm not doing it for something where I'm branded a bad guy. Jesus Christ. If it was like an experiment or something, but if I'm convicted of a heavy crime, I don't want my name besmirched even.
These guys made a great argument saying they kept telling the judge, you know what sucks is there's 9.7 restitution. He's got nothing there, no assets, and they know this because they just went through the bankruptcy. Where's the $9.7 million? There's nothing to show for it. There's no other homes. There's nothing. So where is the money? And they kept arguing. So this guy gets $1 million a year.
The money went somewhere, right? They can verify 9.7. They can verify it.
Oh yeah, that's missing.
Where is it?
It's got to go through bank. It
He didn't
wasn't like
spend
he
it.
took cash.
That's exactly it.
It's gotta go
Now, why can't we find an investigator sophisticated enough?
Think about it, though, Tom. He just had a U.S. trustee trying to find that fucking money. If the U.S. trustee can't find it, there's a problem.
He had to account for it.
No, he just simply said, I spent it over, I did lavish vacations. I did whatever he said. He says, I've got none of it.
Sure, but it's
But they make you show it, Mark. I had to show every dime and where it went. I had to show every dime.
What happens if he didn't?
I don't know.
Well, that's what he's facing, at the time, 10 years. What the fuck? What's he going to do? He's probably in lockdown mode. Why would I ever give up this cash? The only reason my family might ever even look at me again is because there's $10 million.
Are they going to take his house?
I'm sure they did, but I don't even know. That was all part of the bankruptcy, though. In a bankruptcy of that size, you know who gets all the money? This is the saddest part. Who do you think comes absolutely first in a bankruptcy? Fucking IRS.
Yeah.
IRS comes before anyone.
Wait. He didn't owe the IRS, though. The other people, the people owed the IRS.
That's a good argument. I don't know. I don't know. And then the other weird part is apparently a couple businesses got around $2 million back when they found out before anybody else what was going on. He gave them all the money back, and I don't think the trustee drove those back as payments. And the reason I think they got away with it is those businesses took it, gave it to the IRS instantly, and basically the trustee can't take it from the IRS.
Right.
So they kind of beat the system.
Because how did they find out quickly?
Think of that, preferential payments. So a couple guys to the tune of $2 million go to his office and say, you're going to give the fucking money you owe me right now, or I'm busting your ass wide open. He gives them the cash. They send it to the IRS, but it's not handled like a normal preferential payment because it's the IRS.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's get to the phones. People have been waiting. Robert, I hope you're still there and we can help you. What's going on, Robert?
Hi. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I entered into an agreement, with Neotech Services on 5/19, and it was for a hanging garage heater and doing the installation. He was supposed to hang a bracket, run some gas pipe across the garage for me, tee off, put in a reducer, and a
okay, so
shut-off.
anyway, what happened?
Well, I contracted just for labor. He was going to supply me 2 technicians to do the job. I was going to provide all the equipment and supplies and everything that needed to get the job done.
Yeah.
And, you know, I told him once I got all the equipment and everything together, I said, you know, we'll get together and we'll go over it, and then we'll
what went wrong?
Well, he offered, he said, if you'll go ahead and pay half of the labor charge up front, which the total labor charge was $1,600. He said, if you'll pay half up front, I'll make sure you get 2 to 3 days service. That way, you know, I'm doing a remodel project. He said,
all right, so basically you hired them for labor only.
That's all.
And he wanted half of it up front.
That's right.
Did you do it? Did you do it, Robert?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you paid. Now listen, I need to make this clear. I am not opposed to making upfront payments under certain conditions. Okay? They're very rare, but for example, I don't mind making small down payments on a job to show you're serious to get a date. I don't mind when materials are delivered if you pay. I don't mind if design work is done for you, that you pay something. I don't mind if they order custom stuff for you, that you pay and verify the orders have been done. In all cases, I recommend you pay either with a credit card or with some construction account where there's an escrow, and it's only paid upon, it's allotted to them but not paid until completion. However, in these conditions, you can protect yourself. In your case, $800 was not that much to pay up front. I mean, I might have done that on a $1,600 bill if it was a big job and I needed it done and I trusted the people, for example, if they were on my referral list. But I would not do it if there was some stranger. How well did you know these people?
You know, that's the trouble, Tom. I didn't know him all that well, but I thought I had a good read. I dealt with the
all right. Yeah, you felt like, hey, it's all right. So anyway, make a long story short, what happened? You paid $800 up front. What happened?
Well, we were supposed to have a meeting, you know, once I got all the equipment. I called him, tried to make the meeting. He dodged me a couple days, then he didn't return my call. So I settled for, you know, I went ahead and I scheduled.
Well, what happened? Did he do it or not?
No. What he did was the day before I called him, I said, "Are we on for tomorrow?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely. Everything's green light. Let's go for it." So I had everything ready.
Okay, so he never showed. Can we get right to that? He never showed.
Never showed.
Okay, so where does it stand right now?
Well, what I did was is I asked them to talk to me, and they sent me an email and said that they would.
When was this? When was this?
Well, he quit taking my call.
When was this, Robert? When?
On the 8th.
On the 8th of when?
Of July.
Okay, so July 8th was your last communication.
That's correct.
Okay, now, does he totally ignore you right now?
Yes, totally.
Okay, we need to get your money. So what have you done? I mean, it's pretty apparent this guy does not plan on doing the work.
That's correct.
Okay, how did you find Neotech Services, and what is his name?
Rob Black. I found him on the internet.
Robert Black?
Yes.
And how did you find him?
Well, just on the internet. I think he was on a neighborhood site too. Somebody had put him up there for a little bit.
I wish you would have found referral list. I mean, what? We push out to media. It's just that these people. Let's call them. I mean, what else can we do? We'll warn people about Robert Black, Neotech Services. Let's call him. What's his number, Robert? What is his phone number?
303-900-0774.
When was the last time you talked to him was around the 8th?
The 8th, that's correct.
And so this guy won't take your call. You paid him $800, and he's gone, basically.
And I've sent him several emails, text messages.
What's his email address?
What's his email?
You got his cell phone where he accepts texts and phone calls is 303-900-0774.
Yes,
that's 303-900-0774. And his name is Robert
Black.
Black, as in the color black.
Tom, he also has another number, 720-500-12 2016.
And what is that?
Number,
is that a cell number?
That's his cell, yeah. He won't take calls there.
So the other one is not his cell?
No, the other one, I guess, is the business number. It's the one on the invoice.
Okay, so 720-500-2016. 720-500-2016. 720-500-2016. Now, let's get his side of the story, Suzanne. 720-500-2016, or text him. This is Robert Black. I mean, I don't know why people take money and don't do the job. Did he have an excuse, Robert, at all? Any excuse?
Well, the next day,
you love telling stories. Did he just get to the part? Did he have an excuse? I don't mean to rush you, but we're sure. Okay.
He did.
What was it?
On Sunday, they sent me an email stating that his employees had personal issues and vehicle problems. And he said, I know it's not your concern, but I'll give you 10% off of your service.
And when did he say he would start?
Well, he didn't. He said, I got to call dispatch and reschedule.
Did you ever... Dispatch?
Yeah.
Is it a big company, Neotech Services?
That I couldn't tell you. He just says, call this number for dispatch and reschedule.
And that was the 303-900 number?
I would have thought he'd have just said, I'll be there Monday morning.
Okay, listen. You obviously have not been contacted since. Did you get the job done?
Yeah, I've got a guy that's going to help me do it. I'm going to do it with myself.
Thank goodness it was only $800, but that's a lot of money. Hey, listen, you're going to get the money one way or another, right? Small claims court, maybe do a writ of execution, follow it all the way through. We can help you step by step. But hold on, we're going to call and simply ask a question. Are you going to give the $800 back or not? Why do people feel they can keep money? Why is it? Why? Every day on this show, do you hear it? People taking money and doing nothing. Why is that not considered theft? Why? Why? They call it a civil matter because they're lazy. That's why. Law enforcement is lazy. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Another hour to go. Stick around. You never know what you're going to hear on the Troubleshooter Show.
Studio is based on the same recurring membership revenue model, which has made some of the most successful postal service franchises over the past decade iconic. The beauty of their unique franchise model is that the natural cycle of eyelash growth generates recurring demand for refill services, and their average guest will utilize their service 1.4 times a month. Amazing Lash Studio is leading the charge as one of the most promising franchises in this decade. In fact,
I'm looking at that collection agency when I first came out here to Colorado in '82. Cheryl, my wife, her dad owned a collection agency. So, I thought, I told Cheryl, I said, we were dating at the time, would your dad hire me to work in the collection agency? I think he would. So I got my collector's license. I lasted 3 weeks.
That long, huh?
I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, just all negative energy. Oh, yeah. All people say the same thing over and over. It's in the mail, it's this and that, I have to document everything. And I was like, oh my God, Cheryl, I don't know how your dad done this for 40 years. Oh my God, I gotta get out of here. I can't handle this.
Just think repossession of vehicles and stuff, where you go pick it up and all of a sudden guys run after you and stuff.
I used to do that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Because you're a big guy.
Oh yeah, but still, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you're
doing a gun.
Yeah, there was a guy when we were doing it, was probably 82, he was shot down in Littleton. He used the force start on a Chevy truck and camper.
An 82-year-old man?
No, back in 82.
Oh.
I'm speaking out loud how long ago it was. And the kid, young kid, 23, 24, started the truck, camper, everything. Guy chased him down into the block and shot him in the truck. I went to jail for it, of course.
Did he think it was getting stolen, or
he knew it was up for refill? So that was his excuse, but, you can't.
So you can't use that for it, yeah.
But the kid stopped at the stop sign at the end of the block.
Why are we dead air?
This report is brought to you by Report. Mostly sunny today with a high of 86%, mostly cloudy and a low around 60.
Hey, Kevin, would you take over, please? fact, is Angie around anywhere?
Is Angie in the building?
There is no way I could ever think that he would do something incorrect.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the sentencing is going to be. Because he's going to be in jail, Ivy now, for Eileen.
I think he's going to end up with the 15.
Yeah,
minus 20 or 25%. 12 years.
You know, what would you do if a guy took $1 million?
Would you go for 1 year federal?
No. What I would do to this guy, I would hire somebody in prison to visit him once a week.
Not in federal. It's really hard, man. Federal's a whole different deal, man. You don't hear about people getting raped in federal prison. You think Martha Stewart got bent over?
No. She went to a country
think
club,
she got?
I'm sure. No.
It doesn't happen. I'm telling you.
Only she wanted
They're
to.
all. There's not like one federal prison that's rich. Back in the mafia days, there were, because the mafia basically paid all the prison.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. A major scam, the biggest single consumer ripoff in history, where one guy took more than, well, we figure $20 million. They verified about $12 million. He's been sent to prison, and we're the ones that uncovered the story at the Troubleshooter Network. Not only uncovered it, but pressed authorities to look at it. I swear to you, they did not even want to look at it, calling it a civil problem. I'm telling you, we had to literally hound them to get them to look at it. Hound them. And this guy was on his way out of the country. It is updated at sleazbrigade.com. Local news outlets, you're welcome to copy and steal it if you'd like. Call it your own. Do whatever you'd like, because we think it is so important that this be told, because it will warn others of possible similar schemes with payroll services. You are at their mercy with payroll services. There are no checks and balances between the IRS, the state, and the employer. Truly, there aren't. All someone has to do is file false 941 forms and then not pay taxes and keep your money. You need to really check it out. That is why we think it's an important story. And then Mark's had some other reasons he thought it was important. What were the other reasons, Mark?
The biggest reason, I think, is the IRS needs to give these
show compassion. They have to show compassion.
They have to. I'm not saying you change legislation.
No,
but
I know.
You waiver this one. You do
the
something.
Penalties, right?
They do it all the time. They can stretch their offer and compromise.
Let's call Larson and Associates and ask them in general about this.
You know what their idea of being nice is, the IRS right now? On some of them. Not all of them. They've decided to drop the penalties and interest.
Well, that's good though, Mark. The penalties
not if
and
you
interest.
Not if you had $700,000 stolen from you and you now owe $700,000. And why does it take the IRS 7 years to match up a zero return with the employee that still got his tax refund that year for whatever he was deserved? The W-2 and the 941s in some cases, Tom, did not add up for 7 years. Do you understand what I'm saying?
See, no,
Any accountant out here right now could do what Eiley did and go to jail for $1 million a year.
Now, I hear what you're saying, Mark. Sleazbrigade.com, S-L-E-A-Z-E, S-L-E-A-Z-E. It's not E-E, it's S-L-E-A-Z-E, and it's Sleaze Brigade, okay?
Do we still have that video of me confronting that jerk?
I'm going to put it on this. It's not on this, but I'll put it on here. Anyway, right now, let's talk to Ron, who has a comment on local news coverage, who never touched the story once. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, Tom, they had important news on this morning, all three of the major stations, about the Float to Work Day in Boulder.
Yeah, I know.
With interviews and
everything.
I know. I'm done, Mark.
Or you'll hear about puppies and kittens.
Not the 140 victims of this creep.
No, you're right, Ron. It is a joke. It is a joke. They feed you
I even read an email from one of the attorneys reaching out to Channel 7 to say, hey, please, this is huge. Would you show up for his sentencing? I didn't see him anywhere, no one else.
No, search it. I searched all over. It hasn't been covered by one news outlet, has it? And it won't be. It won't be. Eric, what's happening? Eric.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you, sir?
I took a trip to the Philippines in February. Early January, about 40 days before I traveled, I went to a local organization in Denver and got some vaccinations. I got Hep A, B, and tetanus and diphtheria shots, okay? And I came back with diphtheria.
And you were, wait a minute, you got the vaccination?
What the heck is that?
It's an infection. It's a bad infection.
Isn't it a part of tetanus?
Diphtheria? I don't know, actually.
Tetanus and diphtheria were both in one shot.
Yeah, it's like the DPT shot or something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then the diphtheria is actually.
But it's usually okay. It can be through the air or direct contact. Now, or actually even objects.
Yeah, but
I'm reading.
Even Wikipedia is saying, it's a prevention. It's not saying it's an all-out guarantee.
The vaccination is effective for prevention and available in a number of formulations. It says 3 or 4 doses given along with tetanus vaccine and this other one, pertussis, recommended.
Childhood.
So wait a minute. Did you get? I don't know. So you got this right before your trip, right?
I got it about. I did it on January 11th, and I traveled on the 17th of February.
Now, is this what they recommended a month before? What was the recommendation?
3 weeks.
I know what he's going to ask. He's going to say,
I don't know.
Can I sue, whoever, maybe not the doctor, but the company that made the vaccine?
I mean, wait, shouldn't there be something? I mean, shouldn't there be some accountability if you had a vaccine?
I don't know about that.
I mean,
here's what.
How many condom companies would be sued every day?
I called the place that administered the vaccination, and I said, hey, here's what happened. I think you got a bad batch out there. And they said, we are well aware of a problem with the vaccination.
Wait, they said that?
Yep.
What did they say they're aware of? What problem?
They're aware that there's an issue with the vaccination because I guess I'm not the only one that's happened to.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like to me. So
Did you ask your doctor? Did you ask your doctor about it?
No.
Well, did you go to the doctor? You had diphtheria. Did you go to the doctor?
Oh, I was in intensive care unit for quarantine for 4.5, 5 days.
Oh, my goodness. Well, what did they say about the fact that you had the vaccine? What did they say? I mean, they must have had a comment. Did you ask? I mean, I would have asked, hey, I had the vaccination. Why did you ask them?
I didn't, because I was kind of loopy in there.
Okay.
Because I kind of came back 1 foot in the grave, basically, is what they told me.
Could this kill? So this could have killed you?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the doctor said I walked to the door of the hospital. He said you were going to find us one way or another. Either you were going to walk through the door, or you're going to show up on.
How many people did you spread it to?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
They don't know if it was.
And he was on an airplane.
Jeez. God, that scares the death out of me when I travel. You're sitting next to people you have no clue.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue either. What happened, I contracted it through, I burnt my leg on the motorcycle I was riding over there. And I'm pretty sure I contracted it through some bad water that I was wading around in one day because I wanted to go in the salt water because my leg hurt.
And where was the water? I mean, in the ocean, you mean?
Yeah, it was at like a real small resort out of outside of Buenos.
I don't know. So, Eric, were you calling to find out if you have recourse? Because I doubt you do. But do we want to call Marco Bendon?
And I'm getting pressure from my family members that hey, they said, you got something here. And
well, let's find out Mark, you want to find out?
I don't mind finding out. I mean, my gut is saying,
Suzanne, let's call Counselor Bendinelli.
Bendinelli, 1-800-ATTORNEY.
Let's just hold on a sec and find out. Let's just hold on. It is a weird question. I mean, I would be pissed off. Goodness gracious. Rami? Or Romy? Romy?
Hello?
What's your question, Romy?
Yes, sir. I just have a question about a collection matter.
Yes?
Yes, I hired a home advisor in May.
Yes?
So I have a small tile company.
Yes?
And they tell me they could help me to get a job.
Yes?
Well, they didn't tell me they're going to charge me for each lead.
Of course, yeah, that's the way they work with their patented algorithm. They they sell that lead to 3 people or more, and then you pay for it, and then I think you have the ability to turn them on and off as you want to. But
well, yes, I didn't know until they started taking money from my bank account.
Well, did you think it was free, Rami?
No,
Romy, seriously, did you think it was free?
No, I thought only if I get the job, they're going to charge me.
Oh, no. That's the big downside. You get paid if they simply send it to you. You could have a bunch of idiots putting in leads, and they may not even be qualified. And you know, you get charged every time. How much per lead were you charged?
Well, they were all the way from 14 to almost $40.
Yeah.
Then I realized they were charging me for that. I called my bank and...
Well, how many jobs did you get?
Only like 1.
Uh-huh. Why?
Only 1 job. I don't know. It's a lot of people out there doing, you know, I can't go too low in my prices.
Right.
And I just got 1, and they tell me a lot of leads. Then when I realized, I call them, and, well, I couldn't...
How much are they trying to collect from you?
Right now is 900, a little more than 900.
I fear they're going to win.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to... Mark, I don't think he has a leg to stand on, do you? This guy signed up for a contract. You know their contract. They know what the hell they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
They know what they're doing.
You can plead ignorance and see what they'll do.
They're gonna come after you. Why do you think you don't owe it? Do you want to pay anything?
Well, the thing is, they never told me about the leads.
Oh, come on, Romy, really, it's all over. Everything you clicked on, it's all over it. Listen, I don't like it. I don't like this service either. I just don't personally, but I got to tell you, man, just because you're saying you don't know, of course you did. I mean, or you didn't read it. You didn't read it, man. Well, it's all over. Huh?
No, they never sent me a contract.
You had to sign up. How did you sign up?
No, I called them. They never sent me any contract.
You never signed a contract. Then what would prevent them? What would prevent you from saying you never even signed up for it? I mean,
I don't know.
Are you sure you didn't have to go on and click anything? No email, anything?
I don't remember. No, they just I called them. They got my information, my card number. Then they collect the first fee that was like $290. Then they start sending me the leads. But no, I don't remember any.
Well, Romy, I'm sorry, man. I don't think there's anything you can do. You know what? If you want to stick to that story, though, I shouldn't say there's nothing. Of course there is. You can always wait until they sue you, and then just go to court and tell the judge they never told you. Okay? Just tell him. Okay? That's it. And then they're going to bring out a recording where the guy said, this is how we operate. We charge you for each lead. We'll send you leads, blah, 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 and you'll be charged so much per lead, depending on the proximity or something. And how did they determine what to charge you for a lead? Why were some leads charged more than others?
I don't have any idea.
Well, do you have any idea? Okay, you said you thought only if you got the job. What did you think you had to pay if you got the job?
It was from $13 to $40.
Oh, and what was it? If you said it was $13 to $40, so you knew if you got a job you had to pay for the lead. That part you'll admit, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well then, what determined what you paid? What determined what determined $30 or $40 or $13? What determined it?
I don't know. Maybe they.
Romy, listen, man. Okay. I understand. So you don't understand what you got involved in. I can't help you. I'm sorry. Just plead, like Mark says, ignorance to the judge. See what he says. I doubt anything will happen. I think you're going to have to just do it. Ideal Home Loans. For your next ideal home loan, and we mean it, if you want a loan, whether to refinance or to buy, Ideal. Why? Because they have multiple programs and multiple benefits, like the interest rate guarantee, not only the guarantee, but they have the pre-approval, and that's amazing. That is, you're done. You are done. All you need is an appraisal. You're done, and they mean it. You can close almost immediately. They have credit optimization. They have custom term loans. So talk about loans. You don't talk about one size fits all. It's the best for you. 303-867-7000. You know, no matter what, you should shop for loans and shop Ideal, and you'll find that they will not get you into just a normal loan if another one will serve you better. They have programs that, for example, if you want a loan that's 17 years, you don't want to go to 30, you don't want to go to 20, you can pick your own term. And the interest rate guarantee goes for 2 years. If interest rates go down, you get refinanced free of charge. 303-867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
This report is brought to you by Life. There's a few crashes clogging up the drive in the metro area and
I
south.
said I'd help in December. She's a complete scam.
What one was that?
Just some, I hate using words like that. Just some
Bad person?
crackhead is where I was going, because I know there's a drug problem behind this shit.
Wow, it's called. What does she want from me?
So in December, I said, if everything checks out with you, I'll help you with the deposit down. I need bank accounts, I need this, I need that. She sends me shit I literally can't read. She won't give me phone numbers to, you know, who the landlord is. She won't give me an address. I mean, it's just complete bullshit. So, but now she's fucking driving me crazy. She's blowing up my email.
She's shaking you down.
I told her, listen, Dan and Mark, you've got the wrong Mark. The Mark you want's right here. He might even have a place you can live. Don't you get started with me. I'll have her at your place tomorrow.
He just told me earlier he wants to see a picture of her.
So basically,
I've never even seen it.
Basically, that agreement has to be revoked.
Yeah, I know.
4.1 is not the only bad part. The one part that says licensing, that can be revoked.
Oh, I know. That's, well, actually, it says it's irrevocable, but
Then why don't they just let us own it?
well, they should. We're not. Once again, we're not buying Microsoft Word. We're hiring the company to create Microsoft Word, so we own it. That's the agreement that I've been negotiating for.
What we need to do.
This isn't their white box that I had agreed to this on, that sits on their server. It's their software that we use for a fee each month, is $8,000. That's not what we're doing.
Right. And if they say, well, some of it contains that source code, say, well, fine, then include it. I mean, that doesn't matter. It's just like when GM sells a car and some of it's proprietary, you own the car. You can take that car apart and rebuild it.
But this is something we're going to have to deal with, whether it's them or anybody else. I have a feeling, just from my short conversation with Mark, he said all of them do this at first.
Let our team help you. For your free consultation, call now 800-584-2626.
BioT in 5.
626.
I've been talking to more and more of my friends that have had pellet therapy through BioT. Yeah, I call it pellet
therapy through BioT.
Really
yeah, I call it pellet therapy.
Hormone.
BioT really optimizes your hormones. It is such a natural or unnatural thing to do, depending on how you look at it, because really nature means to just deplete your hormones. You don't produce them any longer, and then you shrivel up and you die. You can fight that. You can fight aging. And you can do it the unnatural, natural way. Well, what I mean is replenish them and trick your body. Use testosterone or estrogen, progesterone, stuff for the thyroid, all of that. Let them worry about it. Let the provider worry about it. And then when you need certain hormones, they're done through pellet therapy just under the skin, and they dissolve slowly over time, 2 or 3 times a year, and you're done. That's all you need. You don't have to worry about taking shots or pills or messy creams. If you're exhausted, irritable, moody, lack of drive, no libido, just do the most natural replenishment ever, and that is BioT. Bar none. You will absolutely love the way you feel. I know, going on 64, I know that I can keep up with 40-year-olds or younger. And you know, you have to start looking at this anytime after 40. And all it takes is a visit to a BioT medical practitioner, a doctor who has signed up for this program. You can find him at biotmedical.com. biotmedical.com. And just find a provider there. biotmedical.com.
Hi, it's Mike Rice. Join me and David Jaffa for a brand new show to help make law accessible and share how the law affects you. It's 3D Law, brought to you by Levin, Jacobson, and Jaffa at ljjlaw.com. Listen Sunday mornings at 9:30 here on 630 KHOW.
Bill O'Reilly on the Glenn Beck program.
8 emails in 9 minutes.
That's Sharonda?
No.
Oh, that's a different one.
Making me think of her. She's the one that okey-doked me fucking 2 years ago. Chandra.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. If you're buying or selling real estate, he will assist you. He and his team will list your home and never ask you ever for a long-term contract. I mean, they'll let you out of that contract because they know they have to earn your business, and no one ever has to get out because they love these guys. That's what I love about their confidence. They also will find you the greatest deals you're looking to buy, and they know how to make your offer stand out. They also know how to get maximum money for your listing. They start out by cleaning your whole house.
So done with it.
Yes, and asking for no long-term commitment. 303-920-1622. 303-920-1622.
I think she's listening.
Let's
right now.
talk now to Larson Tax Relief about this overall problem with Eiley. Don Eiley was an accountant who ripped off businesses. He was indicted, prosecuted, and convicted, and is now in prison. We figure around $20 million. They verified around $12 million. He was ordered to pay 9.7 restitution because they found a couple million. It's a long story, but here's the problem. Many of those businesses have been destroyed. Oh, they're gone because interest and penalties. Mark says, why can't they have compassion when they know this was not a scam that they did? Steve Sissick is with Larson Tax Relief. And Steve, you're an attorney at law. What do you think? I mean, can't they look at this case and say, like they do in offers and compromise? They look at special circumstances. With offers and compromise, they say, this person will never be able to pay us back. Let's make a deal. Can't they do that with people who have been ripped off?
Yeah, but in some cases, Steve, in some cases, I'll take one guy, $700,000 he thought in payroll taxes were paid to the IRS over a term of 7 years because the IRS couldn't match up zero, which Eiley was filing, compared to the fake 941s he was giving back to the company. Doesn't the IRS in some way, someplace, have something to do with being so stupid it took 7 years to figure it out?
You know, he has a point there, Steve. Listen, if you figure that the payroll of the individual, the W-2 shows what they have coming back, yet that same company who employs him shows zero taken out of his pay. Or they don't even show.
They didn't match the W-2s to the 941s that were filed for 7 years.
41s that were filed
these people still got their tax refund.
Steve, these people still got their tax refund. The employers still got their tax refund for 7 years. The employees, not the employers. How the hell does that happen?
How does that happen, Steve? I mean, and do they have...
Right. I mean, I'm not going to argue with it. Yeah, the IRS is actually knows what they're doing even half the time. But at the end of the day, if taxes weren't paid, the company's going to be on the hook for those. But like I was getting to, the second aspect of this, there is an equitable argument, and it's not one that many people try because it's not usually successful. But in addition to, you mentioned offering compromise. typically you do an offer in compromise because you say, look, there's a doubt as to collectability. There's actually another box that they don't even provide for you on the form that you can click and pursue an equitable argument.
What does that mean?
Not equitable. Equity basically means that
it's not fair.
Public policy for the IRS to collect against this.
Okay, it's not fair.
It doesn't make sense.
Would you argue an equitable argument with some of these cases, saying that they had no way of knowing?
Well, I think they're handling some of these. Have you argued this?
I haven't argued it yet, and the reason is we haven't had the determination like we recently got today. And actually, I just found out from you guys that came out today. So thanks for notifying me. I'll be looking that up.
Yes.
What, you didn't see it on Fox 31 or 9 or 7 or 4?
No, none of them. I've been working all day. I don't know what you guys are.
No, they're not. No, they're not on the news. They're not covering it. So, Steve, knowing this though, the equitable argument. Can you give an example where, for example, it would be used other than this?
Well, this one actually is a very good example, but you have a situation where, a person is defrauded. You had embezzlement that was ongoing and confirmed. The issue is confirming the embezzlement. A lot of people say, oh, yes, the bookkeeper took this money. I could never prove it. So it's not fair that I have to pay these taxes. Well, guess what? If you can't prove it, then, the IRS is not going to take your word for it. It's just arm wave.
But now that he was prosecuted.
Conviction, for crying out loud. I mean, that's the court of law determining that this person did, in fact, defraud these people. If they can then prove that they were part of that determination or if they were part of that fraud, and they'd have to prove that in some way Eiley actually touched their books and things like that. I think it'd be fairly easy to do.
That would be good. Listen to this.
Say, all right, let's go ahead and let's do an equitable.
So listen, I hope people are listening because I want them to call 844 Larson Tax because these guys at least will look at that equitable argument. And Mark, what he's saying is it is possible. It is possible,
Steve,
that they can waive it.
You know what blew me away in that courtroom yesterday? This U.S. courtroom. The IRS criminal side was there prosecuting them, listening to these impact statements, and he basically said, this really sucks. I'm on the criminal side of the IRS. I've got nothing to do with the collection from the businesses, but you could tell this guy thought that they shouldn't have to pay the money.
Yeah. So
I think that the facts line up, and now, like you said, now that the last little piece is to have that proof that in fact this was a criminal act or a fraudulent act, and then it affected these people. I mean, obviously, the effect is very tangible, but the proof that it was someone else who did it, and it wasn't the officers just not paying attention or something of that nature, which a lot of times that is the case.
Right.
You can't just point your finger at a CPA when you're signing the return, But in this particular case, I mean, geez, a judgment, a penalty, criminal in and of itself, that is a tangible argument. Doing an equitable offer, trying to, even if the company has the ability.
Hey, Steve, last question. Because they filed zero on the company's behalf, is that why there is no statute of limitations? Because effectively, they lied on the tax return.
Yeah, the statute basically starts running when the assessment is made. So if they filed zero, there's really no assessment. When the IRS comes back and corrects that number, that's when the statute starts.
Okay, well, we don't have that argument then. We do have the equitable argument, though. Steve Cizik, he is with Larson Tax Relief. We appreciate it. And really, I urge those people to call over there, 844 Larson Tax. If you're a victim of this thing, it's terrible, and it is possible you can make the argument it's not fair to collect. It's against public interest. I mean, we had nothing to do with it.
And I swear, if this got national headlines like it should, I think the IRS would, someone there's got to have a conscience.
All right, now, we talked about Mako. Basically, Russell took his car in to Mako for an estimate, and it turns out the car was totaled. So, he was charged storage. It's that simple. He was charged storage and he paid it. He said his car was held hostage. We have John. Is he the manager of this Mako, the general manager? We have him on with Mako, or the owner. I don't know. Are they franchise, individually owned? Whatever it is, John is on the line representing this Mako. And under state law, they have to know, you have to have a contract for storage ahead of time, and then you have to notify the owner you're going to be implementing or imposing storage, and you have to give them 4 days to come pick it up, and you can only start charging on the 5th day.
Russell's the owner, or the manager.
Is it back?
Yeah, you just got it backwards.
Well, I didn't get it backwards. That's what the call track says.
Yeah, you're right.
So who's the owner and who's the consumer?
John is the consumer, Russell's the owner.
Okay, because I see owner. Okay, go ahead. I read it wrong. Go ahead, Russell. You're with Mako.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Go ahead. What do you have to say about the storage?
Well, actually, we only charge $25 a day, and if we didn't charge a storage charge, people would just leave their vehicles with us, for long periods of time and not pick them up.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
What happened is we had that huge hailstorm on, I believe it was the 8th of May, and so all these catastrophe teams came out, Geico and State Farm and the rest of them, and their agents have to write like one estimate every 20 minutes. So they're not thorough estimates. So when John had brought his car to us, I think, let's see, on May 15th.
Russell, we appreciate the recap, but truly, I mean, we understand that it wasn't your fault it was held there that long, and we understand it was the insurance company's problem. We're not faulting you at all for that, and we also have no problem with shops charging storage at all. I mean, as long as it's done according to the law. And did you have a storage agreement?
The paperwork that he signed says a vehicle storage fee of $25 per day will be charged on the fourth day after notification per CRS.
Okay, that's exactly what he was supposed to have, and John said he never signed one.
Well, I've got a signature right here.
So
he signed it on, let's see, it looks like June 5th, 2017 at 10 a.m.
Okay, so did you give him notification to pick it up and give him the 4 days to pick it up?
Well, here's what the way it works. The insurance company, we deal with the insurance company all the time. This is a Geico one. And anytime we keep a vehicle on the premises and there is no action per the insurance company, we have to charge storage. If I didn't, insurance companies would never come out.
But you know what? No. I use Michael's Auto Body in Castle Rock all the time. I've had cars that were towed over there. Find out they're totaled. They never charge me a dime. No. He's acting like there's some law you got to charge it.
No, you don't have to charge it. He's saying they have to charge it because he says they have too many people doing it. I'm not, John, Russell, listen, here's the deal. All I need to know is this. Did you notify him and say, we are invoking storage charges. You have 4 days or you have to come and pick it up. Not 4 days, but you have to come and pick it up.
I wasn't involved with it, so I would have to ask.
Because the law does require, you seem to be well adept at the law. You have the proper wording on the contract, and it seems it's very simple. John, were you told to come and pick up your car?
I was not notified, no.
And when you went to pick it up, they said you owe storage?
That's correct.
And when did the adjuster come out? When did the adjuster actually say we're going to total it? Did you call that guy that day and tell him?
It was 3 days. It was the Friday before the Monday I picked up the car.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. How long had it been there?
3 days. Oh, it was there 19. They charged me 19 days, including weekends.
And well, they're not supposed to charge for weekends, are they?
No, you can only charge for the days that the customer is able to pick up the car. So in other words, you're closed.
6 days a week.
Yeah.
So for the days you're open, 6 days.
And holidays.
You can't charge for holidays.
You cannot.
Right. So for 6 days minus the first 4 days. So is that how many days you charge, Russell?
Honestly, I'd have to go back and look at it.
I appreciate that.
I'm willing to do.
All right. So, John, listen, you did sign, you didn't recall signing that, but you did sign that?
No, I did sign that.
Okay.
It states that if I'm notified within 4 days of picking it up, I'd be charged.
And you did not get notified?
I was not notified.
This is what happened. The Geico adjuster came out because it was inaccurately estimated, through their catastrophe.
Okay, all right.
Their guy came out and said he was going to get back with us. The first time that we heard anything from Geico was when John called us and told us that Geico had totaled.
Then you should have notified him. Well, now you have 4 days to come pick it up.
Well, we don't know. You see, typically when the vehicle is totaled, Geico takes it. Now, John must have elected to keep his vehicle.
Still, though, he has to be notified. It doesn't matter.
You can't charge storage retroactively.
Yeah, you have to notify him. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
You have to notify him to pick it up. You can't.
Right. Well, when he has the information and Geico doesn't call us and let us know that the car is totaled.
So you don't work well or communicate with the insurance company, is what I hear this guy say.
But it's really weird, Russell. It's really weird. The law is pretty clear on it, and maybe it isn't written perfectly, but that still doesn't give you the right to make it perfect for you. I mean, this is the risk everyone in business takes. I mean, I hate to tell you, but listen, John, we're going to have to... John, this is a good test case to take him to court on, okay? And we'll help you with it because he's not going to move. I guess he needs that $475.
And I hope Mako corporate's listening to this because it's an absurdity.
They don't give a damn.
Not only that, you think this guy would ever bring a future car to them?
And who listening would ever bring one to Mako under these circumstances? Who? Who would bring a car knowing that without notification, you're going to be charged retroactively storage? Now, who the hell will do that? Do you know how busy insurance is right now? They may take 10 days to get to Mako. They go to Mako and they total the car. Guess what Mako does? They go back to day one and charge you storage. So screw Russell, screw Mako, screw the company. We are going after him. Let's see what the court says. He needs his $475. Screw yourself with the $475. I gave you every opportunity. You could have sounded like a freaking hero, but instead you're clutching on to that money like a whore in a dildo. We got more coming up. It's ridiculous. Let's talk about Paradigm Interiors. If you need floor coverings, let's talk, because Paradigm is the place to go. And I mean that. You will never find a better selection. You won't find better help. You won't find better value. You know what they do? They have big warehouse kind of selection and value, but they have that personalized touch you need when you're doing a big project like floor covering. They have all kinds of varieties. Everything you need. Hardwoods, engineered floors. They have like laminates. They have beautiful luxury vinyl tile. I love that stuff. It looks like stone or wood. But what's great about it, you can even get it waterproof. And it's a fraction of the cost of other flooring. Give them a call or drop by. You will get the efficiency of a quote within a few days, and you will get someone to visit you at your home if you never even want to come in. 303-630-9204. Ask for them to visit your home or drop in. They're on Evans, just west of Santa Fe. 303-630-9204.
This report is brought to you by Lifeline. Crash in the
Wait, what spot do I have here? Oh, okay.
Did you have one?
No, I don't have another one. But I wondered why, because we're back. We're just a short break. You know, this guy had every chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell he was a schmuck.
He could have made himself.
He was making it sound like,
I don't think it was that bad. We'll find out. I'll take
industry. He could have made himself look good. Nice to meet you. I love how you were really.
Yeah, Dan said he's a great guy.
You gave him a lot of outs too, Tom. I got to tell you. Gave him a lot of outs. You were very patient with him. And then you put the hammer down. Beautiful.
I don't gotta tell anybody anything. We can charge storage when it's at their own house. God damn it.
Well, it says it in writing on his own invoice. You know that you got to give him 4-day notice.
On his own invoice.
Yeah. And he's not following.
But not in this case.
Yeah, not in this case. This was different because Geico.
Like a whore used on a dildo. And whores clutching. It was clutching. That's the word clutching. That's a good one. I'm going to remember that line. That's a good one.
No, you can't call him a staff attorney, and you can't say that he is representing. I said, Steve Sissick with Larson Tax Relief. He is an attorney. That's what I said. Okay. You can't mention he's an attorney at all. I wanted to give a... Okay. No, he is overly sensitive. I looked at the wording from the AG's office, and I absolutely followed it, but I don't care. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just call him a regular person. An everyday Joe. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. I just can't believe this. It's just unbelievable the way that happens.
Unbelievable the way that happens. Well, anyway, what's going on with, is this Shalonda? Shalonda?
their area. Yeah.
What's going on, Shalonda?
So, hi, Tom. I had a problem with the Aurora police.
Yes.
My son had an incident the day before yesterday. I got home from work. I was told that a grown man was chasing a group of kids, in which my son was in that group, with a shovel.
Wait, so a grown man was chasing a group of kids with a shovel?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently he was irritated with them.
Yes.
Were they trying to mug him or what?
Or he's mentally ill or something, possibly. We never know. Like, do you know what the circumstances were or reported to be?
Yes, so there was an adult with my kids when this happened. They were riding their bikes together. It's a trail through a park, and they said the guy was doing yard work, and he told him to, he said the N-word, nigger.
What?
To get,
wait,
yes,
he
niggers.
said that? He said that?
Yes. He said,
So, wait,
get off of my sidewalk and chase my kids with a shovel.
Listen, I'm really sick and tired of that kind of censorship. I'm really sick and tired of this. Woman said he used the, she said he used the N-word. She used that word. She wasn't calling anyone that. She said the man used that word. The sound of that word is not going to make people quake and die. They've heard that word before, and we don't have to bleep it off the air. It's not like someone is calling someone that. There is a difference in context. It's not like someone's going to hear that word and go, oh my God, I just heard the N-word, I'm going to die. That's what politically correct, we've become idiots. Shalonda has been insulted. She was describing a word that was used on her son. Right, Shalonda?
Yes, and so my problem is...
So, Shalonda, are you black?
Yes, I am.
If someone was describing something like that and used the word, would you be offended if they're just talking about what happened?
No.
Okay, so this man called your son that, and what happened then?
He chased them with a shovel, and they ran. Okay, so they were at a school, because it's all connected, school, park, and trail. It's all connected. All the teachers came outside.
But why was he so upset with these kids on a bike path? Why would he be so upset?
They said that he has done this twice before in the past. These are teachers that work at the school.
Wait a minute. So this guy is a well-known racist who, if they were white boys, would he have done that?
I doubt it, highly.
Are you serious? I mean, in other words, if we went over there and reenacted this guy would do that?
What's his side of the story, if you had to guess?
Right. What is his side?
They will not tell me who this man is. They told me I could not press charges against this man. They also ticketed my son and said that he threatened to burn down their house and shoot it up. And we have numerous witnesses.
So wait a minute.
My son didn't say anything.
So the boys were driving past the house with an adult. Or riding. Yes. He started chasing them with a shovel.
Yes.
And who called the police?
The neighbors around the neighborhood called the police.
And what was their recollection of this? Was their recollection... Go ahead.
They told me that they said that he did chase these kids with a shovel and that this has happened in the past.
No, but what did they tell the police happened when they called?
They told them that this guy was chasing kids with a shovel.
Then how does that turn out to be charges against your son? If the neighbors say this man is chasing down these boys, calling him the N-word, if this man said that, how then does that turn into charges against your son? Did your son mouth off at the police?
And what charges are they?
Yeah.
Not at all. They charged him with I think threatening, menacing, or something like that.
So is this, okay, so this man in the yard, I'm assuming he's white, right? Okay?
Yes.
He claimed to Aurora police, what? That your son threatened him and that's why he chased him off? What did he say?
He wasn't even the one who said it. The officer told me that a neighbor told him this.
Told him what? Told him what?
That my son said this out of this whole group of kids.
All right, so a neighbor, hold on. So there was a neighbor who said your son threatened this man.
Yes.
But did your son threaten this man after or before the shovel?
My son didn't say a word.
No, I'm asking, did the neighbor say that your son threatened this man before the shovel or after the shovel?
After the shovel.
So, did that neighbor admit that the neighbor came after him first with the shovel?
No.
What did he say happened?
All the officer did was come back to my house, tell me that my son was going to get ticketed for threats.
Okay.
That the neighbor said this. Now, he never said anything before. First, he tried to say that my son was trying to burglarize the house, which he never stepped foot on the property.
But there were how many kids in this group?
I want to say 10.
Now, does your son, how old is your son?
14.
Has he ever been in trouble?
Never.
And his friends, were they ever in trouble?
No.
And who was the adult? How old was the adult?
The adult is 18.
And was he ever in trouble?
No, he has no record.
Okay, so these kids have no record, never in trouble, but you're saying the neighbor, which neighbor called the police? The neighbor who said that your son threatened the guy, or did other neighbors call?
Other neighbors called. I don't even know who this man is.
Well, Shalonda, obviously, the story the police got is that this guy was being threatened by these kids, and he came after them with a shovel to defend himself. That's what's going to happen.
And this is what a court system's about. You're going to have your day in court.
But Shalonda, that's what's going to happen, because the police, they just go and do whatever the complainants say. They don't hold jury there. So if one neighbor said, those boys, I saw them, they said they were going to blah, 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 and then they never say anything about the guy chasing him with a shovel. So, your boys were allowed to countercharge. Did they say that he came after them with a shovel?
The police knows he had a shovel.
Then why didn't they charge them? In many of these cases, both parties are charged.
He might be saying self-defense.
They told me, I talked to the lieutenant, the supervisor.
And what did they say?
The sergeant. They all told me that to leave it alone and to go to court. I cannot press charges, and I want to know why I cannot press charges.
I don't know why you can't either. I've never heard of such a thing. You should be able to if this guy chased your kids. The problem is, who knows what happened first? Now, you're telling me there were other neighbors that told you differently. Are they going to come forward? Are they going to help?
I hope so. I will be going around the neighborhood and to the school.
Well, you should.
The neighborhood. I'm going to go to the school because there were teachers out there, and the teacher came to me and said, I'm trying to talk to the officers, but he won't listen to me.
Now, was this teacher, I want to ask, was this teacher white or black?
No, she wasn't. She was Indian.
Okay. So now, listen, we got the United Nations out here. I think we can get something done. You need to get these people who looked at this incident to give their version. Because if only one neighbor, I'm sorry, I got to take a break. If only one neighbor saw this, then I don't know how it can hold up.
She'll win in court.
Just hold, yeah, you'll win. Hold on a second. Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal. It is car day, and I'm telling you that Rocky's has the selection you want, not just of cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans, but a selection when it comes to financing. Yes, you can shop for financing without ever leaving Rocky's, and they can originate the loan depending on who, not depending on any of the lenders they represent. 40 of them on the spot. They can even give you last-minute insurance to get off the lot if you don't have any. They make it all very easy to do what you need to drive away in one of Rocky's cars, which are great deals. They have titles on the spot. You get a Carfax with every one. So check out Rocky's, 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. And you will find not only the cars, you'll find the prices clearly marked, you'll find great trade values, and the loans that you need. 303-426-4646.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock.
Well, your lunch hour drive has been eventful, to say the very least. In fact, quite a bit of traffic to deal with on the I-25 corridor, especially making way up north. Had an earlier accident this morning. Traffic is still heavy going northbound because
how come none of the other
kids
kids
up so
got
badly
ticketed,
this
just
morning.
hers? He was probably the mouthiest one, or the guy actually pointed him out.
Maybe he did get hit. Maybe the kid was reacting to what the neighbor said.
But this is what court's for. And I'll tell you why she can't press
charges. The neighbor
charges.
said the guy's done it before, so this could be an ongoing feud too.
Could be anything. But if the cops show up for a domestic and say, "Hey, I'm going to arrest you instead of the wife," you can't look at the cop and go, "No, you got to arrest both of us." I mean, you can't just have a cop arrest somebody.
Stuff you can miss by just monitoring your credit.
Well, I remember one time I was at a fundraiser. It was the most embarrassing thing in the world. And a woman came up and punched me in the face.
I remember the story.
She punched me just flat out in front of so many witnesses. Whoa. Punched me in the face. And I went, holy crap. I said, you can't do that. I said, call the cops, and I insisted on pressing charges. And I swear to God, she said, he came after me and grabbed my arm. I swear I didn't even see her. She walked up and punched me.
Not one witness.
No, and not one witness. The only one who said that I came after her was the girl that was with her. They were together. They were both drinking. There was not one witness that supported that. Not one. They all said I was punched, and it was flat out punched. They gave both of us a ticket. Both of us charged.
Wow.
Both of us. And I said mine was dismissed the next day. The very next day it was dismissed, but they still gave it to me. Yeah. The DA dropped it and saw what it was.
Did they go after her?
Yeah, they went after her, but it was retaliatory. Now, they went after her and later dropped the charge. Not dropped. They didn't prosecute. You want to know why? They said, well, we can take this to court, but we have a witness who says, listen, that you came after her first. I said, you mean their original friend? But that's why they dropped the case. Well, they're claiming it's self-defense. I said, but there were other witnesses who said it didn't happen. They said, we didn't keep those names because we didn't press charges against you. So,
wow, you got okey doke. Wow.
Exactly. So it was a no-win situation. The point is they just, on cases like that, they hate them. If someone flat out punches you in the face, there's not much you can do about it. I swear they won't prosecute.
If you're a man.
They won't prosecute it. They won't. I don't know. Yeah, I guess if a man did it to a woman, they would.
Right, there you go. Yeah, what was the name of the show I was watching here a couple weeks ago about that?
John Fuller, Fuller Law. If you have a personal injury,
Fuller Law. If you have a personal injury and you need help, not only to determine if you have a case, but if he decides to take the case, finding out who to collect from. And I'm telling you, John was on the show the other day and he enlightened us. He has so many ways of finding ways to collect through family doctrines, through relatives, through bosses, through employers. Really, he says, you know, when it comes to insurance, there are many avenues to follow for collection, and that is one of his areas of expertise, along with determining the value of the case. If you are injured, if it is someone else's fault, please call John Fuller, Fuller Law, personalinjuryco.com. personalinjuryco.com, 303-597-4500.
I think it is essential for your security and your family's security that we vet anybody coming.
Later today at 1 on Denver's Talk Station.
If I can get through the others. Oh my God. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Mark Wachowski, Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair, over on Santa Fe, just south of Dartmouth, 303-781-9858, 781-9858 for repairs and transmissions, the best. He's great. And then Sheridan Auto Tech, our other expert, Kevin Kalkin, SheridanAutoTech.com, 303-455-7242, General Auto Repair, 303-455-7242. All right, let's talk. What's going on? Doug, the case of the lazy boy stinky chair. We have a follow-up. This one was a weird one. Mark, did you visit them? Were you?
I know everything about it. Oh, there's another follow-up?
No, this is the, well, what is the, this is the one where they had a stinky chair.
They got a full refund. They took back the furniture. What else? What kind of update can we have?
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Hello, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Doug.
Yes.
I just wanted to call and thank you for helping us out with that.
Okay.
Sorry it took me so long to get back with you.
Yeah, this was done a long time ago.
No problem. We appreciate the call, sir.
I kind of had, I thought you just were going to get a replacement for them or something. I had a little bit of a bone to pick. I thought you were going to you either wanted it fixed or you wanted like a store credit or something, but they gave you a full refund. You didn't even spend it with them.
Right. They came and picked the chairs up. They said they didn't smell anything on them, but they took them back, and then about a month later...
I hate to say it. This is one of them. I like Doug. I like his wife. I went out there, but I got to tell you, I'm a little... I don't like how it ended up. Lazy Boy did everything 100% perfect.
Okay, well, don't blame Doug.
I think he took a little advantage.
Like in what way, though?
Well, instead of taking a store credit and getting new ones from them, he wanted a full refund on everything.
Well, okay.
After years.
Hold on, Doug, you have a right to defend yourself. Why did you decide to do that?
Well, they were unique chairs. They were beautiful. They matched the furniture in the living room, but we just couldn't live with that smell, that chemical.
No, I'm talking about why did you decide not to take credit and just get new ones?
Well, we had been looking for these chairs. We looked for chairs for about 3 months.
But why did you decide not to go back to Lazy Boy after you got the refund?
Well, we didn't like the way in which they handled it.
Okay, well, that's it, Mark. They really didn't come and do this until we got involved. That's what he's saying. So he had...
I know we got him a full refund. I did it. I understand that.
Right.
I'm saying there's a few times where at the end, when all the facts come together, I don't like how it ended up, even though the company did exactly what I asked them to do. I thought they were going to give him a chance to get rid of the odor again, or give him a store credit and swap him out.
You're being
I think a full refund was a little tough.
Well, you're being kind, but Doug... you know, take the...
He's a great guy, though. I like Doug. I'm not saying I wouldn't have fought for what he did.
No, Doug, you got a full refund. The best to you on that. Hold on. Just talk to him if you can. Okay, Stephanie, what's going on with you? Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, what's going on?
I have a question for the car guys.
Yes.
I have a 2001 Tahoe, and we have... my brother-in-law was traveling with it, and the horn started blowing... And then the daytime runners went out, so then he had to do the manual lights on, and the rear wipers intermittent, and then he got it back to
All
town.
this happened at once?
Yes, it was. He was traveling
okay.
by himself, so I don't really know all of the details.
So something was screwed up electrically.
Correct.
Okay.
And so it drove fine, got it back to town. So now the issues are that the security light never goes out. It is always on. So that led us to do some online lookup, and we were never able to replicate the problem. It runs well.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I want to tell you something. Lakewood Electric is a great place. Now, if you don't want to run over there, you can call us back. We'll get you back on Monday and get Bryant on to talk about this, okay? We will do that. Michael, we will put you first up, too, if you want. Hold on, all right? I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate everyone. Don't forget sleazbrigade.com for the latest, and also referralist.com. Save all your problems for me.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for talk radio, which means you can take KHOW wherever you go, whenever you go, anywhere. But iHeartRadio...
Lakewood Electric on Monday, and then also take Michael first up if he wants on Monday.
So, you know what I'm saying?
I'm getting ready for a team.
You know what I'm saying?
We personalize the station to suit your face. So right there on your phone,
I'll wait.
It's in your pocket.
To suit your face. Well, your face is my case.
Download the iHeartRadio app now.
Consumers Real Estate Show. That's right, a real estate show for consumers.
Oh, my God.
It's egregious. It's outrageous. It's deplorable. What is up, Markster?
Who is ICS?
ICS is a great company on our